Yeah. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. EYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gon' end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me, no way. OnChain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nicky's. Yeah. OnChain revolution. OnChain. OnChain revolution, Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, change. Yeah, send it to the deck. Sell it through the stack. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy on the channel. We cover the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live in the OnChain hour, and today's show is going to be absolutely awesome, guys, because right now we have Bitcoin running, guys. We have crypto running. We got Ethereum just under that $3,700, guys. You guys need to understand, Ethereum is that leading indicator that's going to show a lot of other cryptos what direction it's time to go to. Right? Because without Ethereum going to that 4,000, without Ethereum reaching its all-time high of 4,800 in the next month or so, we're not going to get our leading indicator. Last cycle, that leading indicator was Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is different this time. Bitcoin is a TradFi asset. Love it. We'll always love it. Think it's the greatest asset in the world. But Ethereum is now our leading indicator to kind of showcase what is happening and what's going to happen in the crypto ecosystem, guys. I'm really excited for this because once we get Ethereum over that 4,000, so we show that chart all the time. Ethereum has been rejected at that 4,100 going all the way back to last year, early last year, right? Rejected once, rejected twice, rejected again. And right now we're up against it again. And we need to pass that. Once we pass that, it's going to be an open field of price discovery. What is price discovery? Well, it's where some of your favorite assets finally get discovered that they're going to go up and they're going to go up quickly. And where and when that stops, nobody knows. What does that mean? That means we could see 100x, we could see 50x, we could see 10x's almost daily. And this is something that we've experienced in 2021. This is something that I didn't experience in 2017, but I'm just kind of looking back at the charts and kind of seeing every direction, every single time your leading indicator passes that resistance. And when your leading indicator gets back to all-time high, when Ethereum does get back to all-time high, it's going to do exactly what Bitcoin did. You remember when Bitcoin was 69,420? It lasted like 2 weeks, and then we saw 80, and then 90, and then 100, now 120. I think Ethereum's going to do that same thing, where we see 4,800 and then immediately see 8,000 a month later and potentially 12,000 very soon after, guys. I'm really excited, and I think you should be very excited because we have an amazing show for you guys today. August short starts slow. A lot of people are on vacation right now, including myself. A lot of people are out there just kind of making to shore their families good. Everyone's ready. Everyone's gearing up for what's about to happen, and I think you guys should be ready as well. So without further ado, bring in my partner as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? How you feeling today?
I feel good. I feel like I don't know the last time I answered that question and said I feel like crap. Like I feel bad, but there has been moments when I'm like, okay, the market doesn't look great and not feeling too up. But I don't know. It takes a lot to get me to that place, and I feel good. I feel better than when the day started and I saw Bitcoin at high 113, low 114, Ethereum at 3,500. So it looks like the energy is coming back after the bell had rung, right? And it seems like there's an uptick. There's a couple of things we're going to go over today, guys. It is a little bit of a slow news day, so bear with us, but we're going to make it as exciting as possible. That's what we try to do for you guys, but also really engaging with you guys, and we love you guys because you guys support us and help us out with that. But like Shizzy said, we're going to go over the slow start to August, what that could mean, and also some other indicators that are showing that the slow start is just the very beginning and things could change very quickly. $3.5 billion hit ETH going into ETH from small cap companies. Also, SOL might be that next, crypto that people really start to highlight after Ethereum. We'll see. There's a bit mining company that's betting big on that. Tom Lee kind of backs up, the bullishness of Ethereum, saying it could be the macro trade of the next decade. Right. So there's a couple other things too. South Korea getting into creating a possible stable coin for their yuan. So when this starts to happen, we flip it, right? This financial system gets flipped when other fiats other than a dollar try to create stable coins as well. But I'm excited to get into it. There's some other stuff too. But we'll wait for that whenever the time is right to get into those topics. But love to get into this main topic of, the slow start to August. Go ahead.
Real quick though, before we get into that, so today, Trump is apparently having a meeting at 4:30. So there's some stuff that's happening with that. I'm just saying that now. That's why I didn't bring it up to put on the stuff. But I just want to cover it real quickly. So there's rumor that Apple CEO is going to be there. So originally I was like, he's going to announce the firing of Jerome Powell, or they're going to figure something out how to get rid of him. But now with Apple going to CEO going to be there, what do you think this event is? And right now, this is the reason why TradFi is back in the green, is kind of what I'm saying, is because of this event happening at 4:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, we've had similar situations to where there's an announcement that's coming from the White House and, this and that. And it just always seems to be, underwhelming. And so I'm not, too excited about this, but I think that's a good approach to have, because it's like, if it does, overperform, me thinking it's a nothing burger, then that's great. That's just like, cherry on top of an announcement or something, right? So it could be something big from, like an, economy standpoint. Apple CEO that's going to be there, that throws, a curveball into that. Like, what is that? Yeah. Maybe there's a big announcement that Apple's going to commit to doing a lot of the manufacturing here or something, to where it makes the markets run. Because we know that that's what Trump wants. He wants there to be a lot of positive sentiment towards his current administration heading into the midterms of 2026, right? There's a lot of chess being played right now with that, whether it's Texas redrawing the lines or possibly this announcement. So I think it could be a lot of things, but that would be great. I don't want to count on that now, with what I said my perception is going to be, but if we get that, that would be awesome for the markets.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too. As long as it's good for TradFi, it's good for crypto, because there's no reason why crypto is running today, besides the fact that it's been beaten down over the last couple of days. But the fact that TradFi is happy, they get risk on, right? And when they get risk on, they start buying up the Ethereum, they start buying a lot of stuff. This is what we want, though. We want TradFi to feel risk on, so that way they can push up the two assets that are available for them, and then we can kind of push up the assets that are good for us. But yeah, I just want to bring that in real quick, because I just seen that on CNBC when I was waiting for the show.
Yeah, I saw that earlier as well. I just didn't know, if it was going to be just, one of these things to get people excited. But hey, look, I mean, they are calling attention. Yeah, they're calling attention. I mean, the markets responded to it, right? They're green. So we'll see if we can keep this momentum up. But yeah, so the slow start to August, August is something that you and I have been talking about for a while. It's really been wrapped into this conversation of the second half of July, starting in the middle of July into the first 2 weeks of August, possibly being that really bullish time period for Bitcoin to possibly get to 130. But it might be split up now, because the way that July performed for Bitcoin was good. It got to 123 in the very beginning, but then it cooled off. And for the rest of the month, it was kind of choppy with a little bit of downside. So we might actually have this slow start for Bitcoin for the first week. And then I could be wrong in that first 2 weeks of August, and it might be the back 2 weeks. Either way, we had a little bit of a slow start, but we are seeing things like the $3.5 billion of capital flowing into Ethereum. And as you can see here, it says small cap companies are piling into ETH, now holding $3.5 billion worth, lured by staking yields and ETH's role as crypto's blue chip asset. So we also talked about staking and how that was going to be very enticing for these TradFi companies to come in and earn passively. They typically don't skip on that type of opportunity. So what are your thoughts on the slow start of August? And then also, TradFi saying, we don't care, we're excited about Ethereum with this passive income that it generates.
Yeah, I mean, the slow start in August should have been something that we looked at, that we should have saw coming, right? I guess we were just too bullish in July, especially towards the middle point of July. We probably should have seen that the latter part of July and the earliest part of August was going to be very boring. This is a time where a lot of bigger people and very rich people, they take vacations. Some of them take the month off, right? But it is a really good time to get assets cheap. That's kind of what I'm saying. But for some reason, I just don't feel like, maybe that's me being too bullish, but I'm just not feeling like the decline right now in the excitement, right? I think that's the biggest thing. I am seeing a decline in prices. If you go to Poly Market, you do see the fact that Bitcoin is kind of they're kind of 80% of the people on Poly Market right now are saying it's 80% chance of hitting 111. I think 111 would be devastating unless Ethereum stays above 36. If Bitcoin drops and Ethereum doesn't drop, I think that's a really good indicator for what the potential of what we could see in the next couple weeks. But yeah, slow start means nothing to me. I do think we're going to bounce back, and because the excitement's still there. The people are still there right now.
Yeah, so I'm in the other camp. I think 111 wouldn't be too bad, but also I do agree Ethereum's going to have to show strength with that. If Ethereum bombs down to like 3,200 or something, and then we're at 11,000, I think that it would be more doom and gloom, probably. 111,000, I should say. But even so, like 111 for me being a floor, I'm okay as long as it doesn't breach down below and break down below 110. I think if it breaks down below 110, I think it's going to be horrible. But I don't see that happening. And obviously, I'm bullish on Ethereum for August because of the setup on the monthly chart. So I was looking over here. You said that it's showing Bitcoin had a $111,000 80% chance, you're saying?
Yeah, it was an 80% chance. It was right on Cointelegraph. It was right on the
Gotcha. No worries.
You find it.
Cool. All right. Well, let's follow up with this because I feel like this is really perfect segue to kind of slide into this next topic here. It says Tom Lee, Ethereum is having its 2017 moment now. ETH is the biggest macro trade for the next decade. In this interview right here, you can actually see that he if you listen to the interview, he says that he thinks it's going to pass Bitcoin at some point in terms of total value. Do you agree with Tom Lee on that?
I want to say yeah. I want to say yes, because if Bitcoin is digital gold, right? And I love Bitcoin, right? It's digital gold, but that's all it is. It's digital gold. Ethereum is kind of digital oil, right? And the oil is way higher higher than gold, right? In that sense. And what Ethereum, people don't understand is 51% of the staked Ethereum gives you governance on the chain. You don't get that with Bitcoin. The coin and the hash power are two different things, right? They kind of flow together, but they're two different things. Having 51% of the hash power is them buying mining machines, not Bitcoin, right? So for Ethereum, you need to actually have 51% of the coin. And you got to remember, all these L2s are finishing on Ethereum L1. You're going to want governance in that. You're going to even if you don't want to make a change, you're going to want to make sure that no one else can. And how do you do that? Well, you have 20, 30% right? So where you only need to sway a few people to come your way. I think, dude, it's going to be a race to get governance on this chain, and this is going to come from like the companies. I think the Bitcoin wave is going to come from nation states, but I think companies are going to want to say in Ethereum, because a lot of stuff they're building is, if they're building it on chain, they're going to run it on an EVM, and why not want to finalize on the most decentralized EVM of them all?
And it's actually a different twist, I think, a different angle than what we're used to, because when in the Web 2 world, or how society worked before Web 3, companies gain power by, just increasing their market cap, being worth billions and billions, hundreds of billions, whatever, how much ever Amazon's worth, and all these companies. But this is a little bit of a twist, because some of these huge companies like BlackRock, they're already worth like so much. Being worth more in monetary value, of course they like that, but having control of like this platform that is going to control digital commerce that's related to Web3 is like the ultimate power grab, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're saying here?
Yeah, 100%, dude. Like 1,000,000%. So when Scott Bessett says, we're bringing TradFi on chain, or we're doing this on chain, when anyone says bringing something on chain, they're not talking about Bitcoin. Right? They're talking about
you
Solana.
Sure about that? I mean, they love the
10-minute
blocks, right?
Yeah, well, that's not. I mean, unless Arch can figure out that problem, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're talking about Ethereum and Solana. When USDC prints money, they print it on Ethereum or Solana, right? This money is coming over here. Yeah, the East kind of thinks a little differently. They love Tron and they love BNB. But here in the US, I mean, the most trusted decentralized chain is Ethereum. And then, if you want to go Solana, that's fine too, but you have to worry about the centralization. There is no centralization until these companies start buying up so much ETH. ETH will be centralized, but in a decentralized way. I don't even know if that makes sense, but it'll be up to the companies to make sure that they push themselves in directions to say they have governance. And what that's going to do, that's going to be a race to not only buy Ethereum. That's one thing people don't understand. You're staking as well. You're locking it in. You're adding TVL into Ethereum, dude. And everyone knows what TVL does. That skyrockets the price of the coin.
Yeah, it definitely skyrockets the price of the coin, or at least shows like how formidable it can be, right? And Ethereum will get to a point, in my opinion, to where, I mean, it's already there. Like there's no threat in terms of, the market cap really free falling to a point to where people are going to be worried about their investment. But when you talk about it that way, I envision almost like this Armageddon type of environment, to where like sometimes they have it in movies like Hunger Games, or like this, where there's this like corporation that like kind of runs politics too. And it's like, controls the food supply and all this stuff. I mean, if you control that much in terms of monetary value on Ethereum in the future, we don't know how big it's going to be. Man, that's going to be crazy, but I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that. That's probably in like 2080 that people are going to be thinking like that, in terms of Ethereum controlling every aspect, or those companies controlling every aspect of society.
I think it's 4 years away. I don't think people realize how big of a thing AI is going to be. AI is going to run on chain. A lot of the transactions on chain are going to be from AI, and they're going to be on Ethereum. Right. And I think there's going to be a lot of commerce happening from people just transacting on their phone, like, buy this. And then AI goes and buys it on chain using stable coins. Like this is going to be life soon. And I think in the next 4 years, and by 2030, I think there's going to be a completely new society we're living in because of what AI and blockchain is doing.
Yeah, plus quantum is going to be around as well. So, I mean, yeah, things could definitely change a lot sooner than later. That is for sure. But let me ask you this then. Do you agree with Tom Lee that Ethereum is going to be the biggest macro trade for the next decade? Meaning that like you believe it will surpass Bitcoin in terms of that top spot?
I believe by 2030, Bitcoin's going to be 6 million. A coin, and I think Ethereum's going to be like between 80 and 100. But I think long term, I do think Ethereum eventually passes Bitcoin. I just don't know if it's going to be this halving or the next halving, whether it's 2028 or 2032. But I do think in the next 4 to 8 years, Ethereum does pass Bitcoin
in terms of market cap value.
Yeah, I think if Bitcoin is $30 trillion asset, I think It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, so I'm
It's
on the
tough.
other side of that. I don't think
Yeah.
it passes Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin just has, if it goes into a hyper Bitcoinization, I think like the price of Bitcoin can go absolutely nuts. But we're also trying to predict the future like 10 years out. That's hard to do, right?
Yeah.
That's hard to do for sure. But awesome. All right. This next topic here, let's bring this down, is the SEC says liquid staking and related tokens are not considered securities. So
Again,
this changes so much. And I think it changes a lot of capital inflow, right? Because like they don't have to worry about like the taxes on it in that aspect. What do you think this does to the space?
Yeah, I mean, this basically legitimizes staking. Like, I don't think people understand that the staking was looked at. I mean, if we put staking in the headline of our video on YouTube, it does terrible. Like that video does awful, and that's just the word staking, right? That word staking really has been something that's been so like pushed down and just like staking. It goes back to the 2020 staking aspect of it, where you're staking bullshit to get bullshit, and you stake more bullshit to get bullshit, right? And I think that's got a lot of people a bad taste in their mouth. But when I think of staking now, I think of staking Ethereum and earning governance, right? I don't think people realize how big governance really is, and if you're getting governance and then you're also being rewarded in staking, this is absolutely huge. And then liquid staking on top of that, to where I can I don't have to go and have 32 Ethereum on a validator. I can just go and buy a liquid version of that and earn those points. But what that's going to do, that gives Lido your say in the governance, right?
So you give power up though, right?
You're basically saying, hey, Lido, I trust you. Like, make sure that, but Lido has every benefit to make sure Ethereum's price does good in the governance, right? So that benefits you as well. So it's just so many moving parts of this that are just absolutely amazing with liquid staking, because it gives normies an opportunity to just go and buy ST ETH, and that's all they need to do. And I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, hey, if you hold Ethereum on Coinbase, you're automatically staking it just from holding it there, right? Because they're liquid staking it for you. And how massive is that for a normie to get, let's say 4% on their assets and not have to do anything? They just press the buy button.
Yeah, and I actually feel like this is like a perfect setup for the servicing companies, right? Like BlackRock, I'm sure they're already forming their staking servicing type of product, because like I think the medium-sized financial institutions and the smaller like big retail wells and stuff like that, they don't care necessarily about the power part of the direction of where ETH goes. They just want the passive income. But these servicing companies, whoever does it, like you said, Lido could be one or whatever, or they are one. They're the ones who will get that governance while earning yield on everybody. Dude, like that to me is going to be the new bank, because now banks make money traditionally off of us all, right? They use our money to lend out to people. So they use us for capital liquidity, and they also have their consumer that wants loans, and they make interest off of these loans, and that's how their business model works. Here, it's like way easier and like more stress free, I feel like. But these Lidos companies basically say, hey, just stake with us. You'll earn 5%. They take 0.5% or 1%, whatever they take, and then they also get the governance too. So this is going to be, do you think it becomes really competitive, or do you think like the Lidos end up being like the Bank of Americas of the future, or the Wells Fargo, or the PNCs?
It's already competitive. I mean, you have, if you just go to staked ETH, there's like 15 or 16 different kinds. I mean, a Curve.
Who's the leader? Who's the leader right now?
Lido. That's a really good question, but I'm pretty sure it's Lido. DeFi Llama would have that for you, but it's one of those things. It's Lido's number one. I think Curve might be number two. I'm sure Aave's going to have their own version.
So the staples.
Yeah, it's all the staples, right? It's I forget that one's name. It's like the cow or something.
But does TradFi come in and say, we have billions of dollars to try to, compete in this market as well?
Bring it. I mean, that's what they want. BlackRock is going to want a liquid version. Why? Because they don't have to own the
Uh-oh. I think Shizzy froze there. But I think what he was saying is that BlackRock wants this because they don't have to own the ETH to get the governance. Go ahead.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. I mean, you hit it on the head there. So this is going to be the biggest thing. JP Morgan's going to have a liquid stake token. You know, PNC is going to have a liquid stake. All these big major banks, Apple's going to have a liquid stake ETH token, right? Because this is how they're going to have say and not have to buy the Ethereum.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. This is going to be such a good strategy, and like I think banks are gonna, well, not banks necessarily, but like if these TradFi institutions, maybe some banks, they're gonna realize, man, we should have jumped on this as soon as we realized that regulation was going to come in with this new administration, because this model is just a more simpler form of what we've been doing in the real world.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's just a more stress-free model of that. But yeah, so what about you? It's not considered security. So what does this mean for the everyday retail user, staker? How does it benefit them?
It doesn't. I don't think it benefits them. I mean,
you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about the earning and what that is considered and stuff. That's it, right?
What's going to happen is when you go to Robinhood and you have your ETH there, you're just going to get some extra ETH, right? When you have it on Coinbase, they're going to go, wow, I have an extra, $400. I have like $10,000 in Ethereum, and every year I make $400 in Ethereum. Right. That's the main thing for them. But they don't really realize that Robinhood is so happy that they're holding their ETH there because they can use that as governance. Right. If you have 1 million people holding $10,000 in ETH, I mean, that's all that governance goes to Robinhood and they're able to stake it. Right. So that's where this benefits institutions and people who want to get governance in Ethereum more than anyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree, but it does take, I think, some of the stress off of the everyday person too, because now they're not considered securities, and there's some people that were just like, I don't want to mess with things unless they're not considered securities, and so it does change. It's a net positive for sure for the entire space. So I'm excited to, we're seeing these type of headlines almost every day now that something positive is coming into regulation. So, all right, guys, help us out, smash the likes for us. Share the streams. I'll do everything on the YouTube side as well. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like for us. It does help us out. We got 290 people in here right now. But let's move on here. All right, this next headline is interesting. We've talked a little bit about this in the past. There's been the strategy with centralized exchanges trying to get on chain as well. They realize that if they don't do that, they could technically lose market share to just the pure on chain protocols and companies. So they're doing a hybrid approach with that, which I think is very smart. And what Base is doing is they're saying every Base token will be traded on Coinbase. So the Coinbase app is what I'm assuming with that, per Jesse Pollak. Who is Jesse Pollak? He is in charge of the Base chain, basically. Like, that's his responsibilities there. And it says no listing required. Users can search and buy directly. And I know when we talked about this in the past, we said there's probably going to be some whitelisted tokens, but this kind of gets rid of that and says every token will be traded on Coinbase, no listing required. And me being like a, person that gets anxiety over like security, or I'm just a conservative person, it makes me worry for normies, right? Because I feel like normies can put in a ticker, and there's 5 tokens that have that same ticker. One of them is a scam, and they buy it and then they get burnt. So what do you think about my perspective on that, for one? And then 2, how do you resolve that?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about being a sovereign individual. If you make the mistakes, you make the mistakes, right? But like, what's going to happen and what this is going to look like is when you go to Coinbase, right? They're going to have a DEX feature. They're going to have warnings out every aspect of the way. They're going to have a whitelisted of tokens that are whitelisted, and if you want something that's not whitelisted, you're going to have to go to Base Scan. You're going to have to get that contract information. You're going to have to take that contract. It isn't going to be I want to buy, MIM, the bridged-in version of MIM. I'm going to type in MIM and something. No, that's not going to happen. They're not going to allow that. They will allow you to go to a scanner, get the contract information, take it there, paste it in there. So they're going to do that for the main reason of it's hard. it's going to be hard for a newbie to kind of do that. And if I say, hey, mom, whatever, buy this token on your Coinbase, I'm going to have to give her this long string of numbers and stuff. She's going to have to copy it in and paste it. But that's how we're going to make sure that she's getting the right token as well. So I do think you're going to see virtuals on there. You're going to see a lot of stuff like that. But then a lot of like the newer stuff's not going to be there. But if you do want it, and you are savvy enough to go find the contract information and take it there, they will let you buy it. But it's going to be just the same risk as you buying it with your MetaMask, right? There's going to be no difference, except that every Coinbase wallet is now technically a wallet, Ethereum wallet or a base wallet.
Yeah, that's true. Because I was thinking maybe they would do this for other chains, but they're only going to do this for base chain. So do you think this evolves into doing it with other chains as well? Because, like, I think that could give other centralized exchanges, competing ones, a little bit of an upper hand, though. Because if you think about it, like right now, if Coinbase is saying, okay, we trust the base chain, we know all these, we have a team that's running it. You can buy any base token on here, but then Bybit says, okay, well, you can buy any base token, you can buy any Ethereum token, you can buy any Solana token, you can buy any BNB token on Bybit. Why would you limit to one chain?
For governance of chains like Cardano and Solana. So what happens is if you want to buy Solana on base, they're going to allow you to do it, but they're going to wrap it for you, which means they're going to be able to stake that Solana that is on chain and actually have governance in the Solana chain. So when every token that is going to be on base, I think every token's going to be there, but they're all going to be wrapped in there.
So that's the thing that I didn't think about here.
Yes.
So that's where they can, let's say if, Bybit does do what I just said, Coinbase can do that by wrapping and bridging in.
Well, what they'll do is they'll list it on Coinbase and then they'll wrap it and have a wrapped version on the base chain. Right? So when you sell Solana on the base chain, you're just selling Coinbase or base Solana. So Coinbase is actually custodian all those assets with you. What are they doing? They're earning yield on those assets.
So okay, I see where you're coming from. I actually think that this is going to be the best approach for normies to come into our world as well, is a hybrid approach. I've said this before. I know that you're a big, advocate for decentralization, but for me, I think for the world to come in, it has to be a hybrid version, and a hybrid version is exactly what you just said that they're probably doing here. And what that is because a lot of these tokens are going to be on the centralized exchange, the successful ones at least, what they can do is kind of wrap those in. But even if they don't, like, because they want to have so the ones from the outside, what I think they'll do is only pick the popular ones that are outside of the base ecosystem and then bridge those in either from their centralized exchange. They have an MPC. Every centralized exchange has that. They'll be able to wrap it and then send it to base as well. And then that satisfies basically popular tokens outside of the base ecosystem while having every token available within the base ecosystem, right?
Well, think about this too. Like on Botonics, for instance, right? Botonics is a Bitcoin L2, nothing to do with base at all. I can bridge assets from Botonics to base, right? Pretty easily. So I can potentially use a company like Layer Zero, and Layer Zero just is that bridge. It creates the token on the other side for you, and then it's on base chain. Then I just get that contract information and take it to Coinbase, and I can trade it. So there's two options. Bring anything to base.
Yeah, there's two options then. If you just want to do it with the only decentralized process, and then it shows up as a contract address within Base's ecosystem, or Coinbase has some control over some stuff that they listed or whatever, and they want to wrap it as well. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And they talked actually a lot about bridging a lot of these, wrapping a lot of these assets. They talked about wrapping Doge and having it on Base. And I think like maybe XRP was
everything on Base will be wrapped. Everything on the Coinbase chain right now. If you go to Coinbase and you look at all the assets, every single one of those assets will be put on the Base chain. And as CB versions of that, CB Solana, CB XRP, CB this, CB that. You're going to see a lot of that to the point where you might not even see the CB. They might even get rid of that completely and just say this is wrapped in from Coinbase. Yeah.
I would think they want to have a unique identifier with their wrapped assets, but maybe not.
I mean, you're right. See. Probably. Yeah, you might be right. They might keep the CB.
All right. Good conversation, and I think this is going to be bullish for new people, and we'll see what Kraken does too. Because I think what this will do is the competing centralized exchanges will say, "Well, we got to have something that's really good too, an offering." And I think that's the whole purpose that they launched the Ink chain, right?
Well, yeah, 100%. Binance is already doing this with the alpha. They're doing exactly what Coinbase wants to do, right? With the alpha, I mean, anything bridged to BNB, you could buy potentially after it gets listed with the alpha. But imagine not having to get listed with the alpha. Imagine every token is just available. That's kind of what Base wants to do.
Yeah. I can't wait because I think once we have a really competitive crypto environment, which it's already starting to get there, but we're talking, maybe in a year and a half from now, Kraken looks completely different. Coinbase looks completely different. And there's going to be we got the bullish exchange, but I know you don't like what they're doing yet because they haven't opened it up to their own country, which is annoying. But
I'm in the FU bullish camp until I'm able to use it, right? So
absolutely.
I just hate that now. I hate it so much. If I go to a website, I'm almost like F you. Like seriously. I got but then I put my VPN. A lot of times my VPN's on anyway, and I don't even notice. So
yeah, for sure. We got a lot of community members in the chat. Put your questions in the chat. Put some tokens that you want me to check out during the price action in the chat as well. Alpha Gamer, what's up? Stan, what's up? Coach Katz, myself, all of you guys are awesome. All right, let's continue on here. I think this will make you feel a bit better about the altcoins, but we have had the highest altcoin inflows in 10 months over the past 30 days. And you can see, right here on this chart, actually you can't because I'm not sharing it, but now you can see altcoin exchange inflow transaction count 7-day cumulative. Sorry about that. Yeah. But you can see here, this is increasing. So I don't know. How do you feel about this? Is this a good thing, bad thing? I mean, because the inflows to Binance is what it's saying. Does that mean they want to sell them? Is that what this is saying? Because that's what at first I was thinking. At first, this is my bad because at first I read this as we were just getting a lot of purchases, but it's showing inflow transactions. So I believe they're getting sent to Binance. So we'll see if this is something that is going to cause a sell off, or in fact it's creating interest, right? Because maybe they just want Binance to hold them. They don't trust themselves. I mean, the only thing I think of whenever people send, alts or anything to like an exchange is either they're going to sell them or there's like a staking opportunity there. So,
well, let's look at the past data then. You have 2000. What's that? November 2000. Go back into that real quick. My bad.
Yeah, really quick. It says, I want to read this real quick. It says altcoin inflows. This is from Coin Bureau, by the way. On Binance have soared to levels not seen since last November per crypto quant data. Yeah, so that is bullish. Are they gearing up for an altcoin rally? And we have to remember too that Binance is also doing this hybrid model too, and they have Binance Alpha. So this could be a part of that. So yeah, so this is bullish. Obviously, that is what they're indicating here, and you can see they said from November. So wow, this is November here. If you go back to a similar time period, we would be in this range here, but this looks more like probably September because you can see, or even bigger than that. So it's actually the start of like November over here. So we could see something that trumps double, triple of what November had in our November of this year.
Yeah, and it was like 45 days after November 1st was kind of when the peak top was for Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? So I think that, yeah, dude, think about that. Yeah, about 45 days, we're gonna see explosiveness. What's that put us? That puts us right at September 19th, right? So
yeah, so September 19th, but I think it's going to be a little difficult to compare where we are to last year, right? I think the thing that we can compare is that the expectation is that November and December are going to be bullish, right? But if we're getting kind of like this bullish energy right now for September, do we get kind of like this bullish matching even this in like September? October-ish, early October, maybe mid-September to late September, and then calm for a little bit, and then that's whenever it double triples what we had here.
It almost feels like a test pump.
Doesn't it?
Almost feels like to where it was testing.
Like this is definitely bullish to me. This is bullish to me. I guess the last level area would be 2024 March, right? 2024 March. I think that's whenever pump funds started to get a lot of attention, right?
That was when, I mean, that's kind
And
of when
some,
I saw the bear market start for me.
yeah. Well, I think it ended then, and then that's whenever we
Yeah,
kind of came into, because like what was it? January, February, March,
yeah,
April.
I
April
know.
was the halving, and we all know what happened in
Mhm.
April. What happened in April?
Well, it's selling me and go away, right? Like,
No,
so it was kind
there
of
was
like,
an event, historical event.
oh,
Like,
runes.
yes, exactly.
Yeah,
And everybody was so bullish on runes, and a lot of people got wrecked on runes at that time. But it was just so unfortunate because you could see here, runes probably should have launched in February. If runes launched in January, February, I think runes would have had a blow off the top here in March. But
it might have.
it launched on the down, and I think because Casey really wanted it to launch during the halving, right? And that's
Yeah,
the whole point with it. And that was unfortunate, but that could be a good thing for us because it's been such a pent up demand, and now we're going to, in my opinion, experience a blow off the top for runes and the Bitcoin ecosystem to finish the year. So this is bullish, guys. We have figured out. That's my bad. I should have looked into that a little bit more, but yeah, that's definitely exciting. So last thing here before we wrapped up, the altcoin inflows. What are you expecting? Are you expecting a little bit of an excitement kind of peak? Finishing in September, chill period, second half of September, first half of October, and then take off second half of October into November?
yeah. I think CPI kind of kicks off a huge run. I think coming in, that's going to last like probably like 30 days. I think from August 16th. I don't know exactly what CPI is, but like August 16th to, I think, I want to say all the way till October. I think it's going to be really bullish, maybe with a little bit of pullback in October, and we run all the way till next May.
For sure, for sure. All right, guys, this one right here gets me really excited. Over $18 billion worth of Bitcoin short positions are at risk of liquidation if price of Bitcoin reaches 125,000. So this has me a little conflicted because I get excited about these reports, but a lot of times they
I'm
don't really,
bearish on this, dude.
yeah, they don't really play out. You know what I mean? It's like when they put that a headline about, oh, there's so much so many shorts about to get liquidated, it typically doesn't play out. And then whenever they don't talk about it, we see a short squeeze that happened like 3 weeks ago, right? And so but if this does happen, obviously it's going to be really exciting. The thing that got me kind of questioning this was the poly market. 80% of Bitcoin
Yeah, I
going
put that in
to
a
100.
private chat, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, let me pull that up to kind of compare to this. But while I'm getting that ready, I'll show you the chart here. But you can see $18 billion worth of shorts if Bitcoin gets to 125,000. You can see right here's the number here. But let me see where that is. It was a Cointelegraph one, right? Copy that, put that here.
But yeah, so this is the reason I think why people are saying we're hitting 111. I mean, to me, that that much liquidation shows that's smart money. Smart money is saying that we're not going up.
Yeah, but so okay. So if $18 billion worth of short liquidations will be liquidated at 125,000, you're saying that that's big whale smart money, or is that trapped shorts that have been short for a while and they just keep pushing their liquidation price back? You know what I mean? Because that could be part of it as well. You see, it says
No,
right. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I think it's the opposite. I think these are new shorts coming online. And they're saying, I think a lot of them are probably sitting there saying, like, yeah, there's no chance we get back to 125. Well, they're basically saying 125 was the top of the cycle. Obviously we don't think that, but
Yeah, so you can see the different percentage. I like this chart because you can see different percentages of breakdowns here. So to get to 117 and up, it's 75%, but it also has an 8% drop recently, right? So you can kind of see where the sentiment is going. 120 and up, 53%. But then when you go here, man, this actually gets a little scary here too. 111,000 and 80% chance. We know Polymarket that kind of, if you hit like high 88%, low 90%, it's almost locked in with Polymarket, right?
yeah.
The funny
That
one,
75 is just money going from 75 to 80.
Yeah, 8 to 9% up, right? So the funny one to me on Polymarket is Jesus will return 16% before GTA 6. And I'm just like, if that gets to 90%, bro, I'm just like, oh my God, this is crazy. All right, so then we have 110,000 and below. This one's kind of scary because I told you pre-show, I said, if we break below 110, I'm not scared for Q4, regardless if we get below 110. I know where Bitcoin's most likely going to end up, at least on the bottom end, or at least I'm very, very confident with it that Bitcoin will be at the very least probably 145, between 145 and 168 to end the year, or the peak towards in Q4. So even if it breaks below that, but I won't feel good for the local sentiment.
Yeah.
But again, Ethereum changes that a lot. If Ethereum stays strong and we can actually, if we see something like the opposite, like Bitcoin's going down, Ethereum's going up, I'm actually bullish for Ethereum and some of these alts, probably the stronger alts, the Solanas, the XRPs, and then some really strong mid caps. And I don't think micro caps will be ready by then. But what it would be, like you said in pre-show, is people selling Bitcoin to buy Ethereum at these prices and challenge that 4120 price and possibly get above that. Could you see that happening?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the telltale for me, right? So if we can look at, if we see Bitcoin drop to 110, but yet we see Ethereum stay strong and not drop, if it goes down back down to 3.6 or 3.5, I think that's going to be one of the most bullish passing of the torch events that we've seen in a long time. Meaning, a lot of people say, okay, Bitcoin is already double its all-time high of last cycle. Ethereum is still not at its all-time high. This is potentially what I've been saying for a long time, that Ethereum is actually that leading indicator for crypto, which kind of shows you that, if people leave the Dow Jones, leave the NASDAQ, and leave Bitcoin and go into assets like Bitcoin, XRP, and Cardano, I mean, that is the ultimate sign of risk on. I mean, Bitcoin right now to me is TradFi kind of sees it as risk off a little bit now. So to me, that would be the most amazing thing that happens. But if it goes the other way, and Bitcoin drops to 111, Ethereum drops to 32, I think we're going to delay this push up that we're expecting until maybe September, November, just between September and November, right? We might not see a push up in August and the early days of September. We might have to wait till that 19th.
But you know what that does to the data consistency of bull market year for August, right? It breaks it.
It would break it, but if somebody says like it doesn't matter, like if you don't calculate the after year, August has been shit for Bitcoin, right? So it's just a lot of people are just saying August is terrible for crypto. This is normal.
August is terrible for crypto, but the thing that does align with 2025 is 2021 and 2017. I didn't look at 2013, but it might be green.
Yeah,
but 20. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, I'm in the kind of the camp that this year is skewed a little bit. That
it is skewed.
We're gonna go all the way till next May. So what does that say? That says essentially we're like a normal. We're not at the post market. We're delayed a little bit. So that would actually make sense to my run to May.
Yeah, but if we're expecting Ethereum to have a possible new all-time high but before the end of the year, then it catches up. The bull market catches up, right? So for me, being a digital marketer and data analytics guy, I always have to stick to the trends. It's just naturally that's how I am. So with August, until August proves me that it's going to break the bull market year, August of saying green, I believe it's going to be green. Also, taking a look at Ethereum's monthly chart, we've already started a small green candle on the MACD for August. So I feel like, that scenario that you and I talked about, that, Ethereum could possibly show strength here as Bitcoin shows weakness. I think that just has a lot of potential. Who knows if it doesn't happen, then, the trend is broken, and we've seen a lot of trend being broken the past 12 months. So, I guess it wouldn't surprise me too much. It would just make me angry because I'm a numbers guy and a data guy.
It's going to make you angry because this cycle is broken. We're about to head into a crypto focused like New World, right? So there is going to be no 90% dip that we've seen in the past for a lot of, and Ethereum has become, even Tom Lee saying it's become a macro asset, right? This has never happened before. So
Which
in my
makes me
opinion,
more bullish.
well,
on it.
I'm just bullish. I'm now bullish in the sense of a slow grind up instead of a push up, right? Let's just say we're at 4,200 next month and 4,800 the following month and 6,000 the following month. That's a macro push up, right? I mean, that's exactly, we're not gonna see that kind of that blow off top that we've seen in the past. And this is the first cycle that Ethereum's been that leading indicator. It's usually Bitcoin, but this time it's different.
Yeah. I agree with that. It is usually Bitcoin. The difference is, like you said, TradFi has accepted Bitcoin as more, and that's good actually for the overall space.
Yeah.
I'll say that because now we're taking away the word volatility as much with Bitcoin. But I want to take a look at this just one more time. Because who was it? I think Alpha Gamer just chatted in the chat saying that Bitcoin historically is bearish for August, which for the most part is true if you're not counting the bull market year. So I mean, look, you see here in 2024, not horrible, but not great. 2023 it got worse every year, right? And this is obviously not finished. This is just kind of where we are right now. But if you look at the correlating years, 2021, Bitcoin up almost 14%. Yeah, post halving, which is this year's post halving. And then you go down to 2017, post halving, and you go down to 2013. So it's hit it every opportunity. Every single opportunity, we've hit a green month for August for Bitcoin and post halving. Now, again, me being a digital marketer, I am going to assume that we do have a green month here. But let's say we don't, and I change this to Ethereum. Let's see how Ethereum has performed in the post-halving years. So 2021, bigger gains, it looks like 35% than Bitcoin. And then you go to 2017, 92%, right? And that's where it stops. It doesn't go before that because Ethereum wasn't alive at that point. So, I mean, both assets are showing me from a pattern level, this should be a green month, but I do have a little space in my brain that says this year has been anything but traditional. And we could see a break in that, and that would piss me off. You're right. Not much pisses me off.
A different world, man, where crypto is just seen as a different asset class than it ever has been, and that what that could do is that we might would a non-bear market piss you off if we just don't get a bear market?
No,
I'm just saying, like, but that goes with data analytics, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, like analytics that match my thesis. That's how I want to play it. Is I want to look smart, right? But
like, what if we do get out in May? Like, my plan is to sell in May, and then like June, July, and August are the most bullish months ever, and we just don't get a pullback. We never get those prices ever again, and we just kind of go up for the entire
I think for people that are in the space each and every day like us, I think there will always be another opportunity, right? I think before. Yeah, different asset, other opportunity, whatever it is. And I think that's very important for the people that are in the space. Even if you don't have a show, if you're in it with a project or you're strong in a community, but you're in it each and every day, or at least multiple times a week, and you're connected, as long as you keep that same energy, I think there will always be another opportunity for the people that there won't be for is like the old me that would come in every 4 years and say, oh my God, this is exciting. And then you miss and stuff like that. So, all right. Go ahead.
No, that's just normal retail, basically. Yeah, I got you.
Pretty much. All right. A couple more things before we get into the fear and greed here. I was worried I didn't have enough stuff here. South Korea is so KakaoBank. For the people that don't, I'm half Korean, so I know what Kakao is. Kakao is actually a big company in Korea. They have Kakao Talk, so they have like a social media. It's kind of like Telegram, but more like personable. And they have a bank, KakaoBank, right? So $44 billion is the value of KakaoBank, and they're eyeing stable coins for digital yuan. And I was telling Shizzy that this could be kind of that final step that lets the entire globe know that the financial system is in fact being flipped on its head, and we're starting over with something new, because it's no longer just stable coins that are associated with the dollar. We're talking about yuan now, and then the Chinese yuan could be next, or the Japanese yen, or the euro, and all these things. They're probably already working on that. Do you agree with that, or do you think this is not that big of a deal?
I think if you're in a country and your country is not thinking about stablecoin and stablecoin laws and stablecoin practices, you're potentially living in a third world country, like the new third world countries. I think that if you have your own currency and you're not digitalizing it, bringing it on chain, picking a chain, creating a chain, right, and then trying to figure out like the best chain to use and maybe create your own chain. I can't wait till the days where a country like South Korea has their own chain. This is the South Korean chain, right? It is yeah, it's
Government
centralized.
chain?
Well, yeah, but like let's just say so they have a governance token, which could be their stable coin, right? So that's kind of how the world is controlled anyway, right? The more money you have, the more say, but you bring that on chain and you can kind of see what
the voting and a democratic process could be intertwined with that, right?
Well,
I mean, they don't want that.
Would have the
they
most
don't want
say.
that.
I mean,
maybe they do want that. I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying though. But that's the thing too, is like, so if your government holds the most stable coins, your government has the say in the chain. So your government can always have say in the chain.
Yeah, but that's not what I meant in terms of like the democratic process. I was saying more for like voting and verification and all these things. You know what I'm saying? And not the governance side, but and I think they would have to separate that governance side with the everyday civilian side of that chain, just to make these things possible. I don't know if they'll ever go there though, because the one thing about politicians is that they like to stand on a moral high ground, but they're always doing the opposite behind the scenes, is how I feel, at least.
I think voting in the future is you're going to get a coin airdrop to your wallet, and where you send that, you'll have two options to be able to send that coin. You can only send it to two different places, and one for this person and this person, and then whoever has the most coins wins the election.
Did you just make that up just now?
I've been thinking about that for a while, actually.
Oh,
I think think about that. Like the U.S. government.
Are the coins worth anything though?
No, they're not. So
okay.
And they can only be sent. So in the smart contract, they can only be sent to two addresses. That's it. If you try to send them somewhere else, it's going to error out. But you can only send it to this address or this address. So that's all your voting is on chain, right? And you can kind of go online and see, okay, this is my coin. This is my coin identification number, and it got sent to this wallet. My vote counts, right? And if it doesn't count, then you can basically go in and fill out a document and get your coin sent back to you, and then you can send it to the other part, right? And you'll only have, let's just say you have like 2 weeks to do this process, right? And they're gonna. So I don't know, man. I think that's going to be the new way of voting for a lot of different things in the future, because that's the only real way of doing it. Like, I mean, you'll be able to see everything. You'll be able to see everything on chain.
Yeah.
Well, going back to this, I know I keep going on tangents with this stuff because just have so many ideas pop in my head. But I think if your country is not doing this, you're going to be living in a third world country.
Wow. That's a pretty big statement. But third world countries can flip their country and become a first world country like El Salvador.
Yeah, 100%. El Salvador is going to be seen as one of a top 5 country one day, just because what they're doing, like almost guaranteed. Like they are on pace to be one of the biggest countries in the world, and you're actually seeing that now. I mean, it's already one of the safest places to live.
Yeah, no, they've done a great job in terms of not just with the Bitcoinization of their country, and I would think that they would be probably open to other stuff like stable coins and stuff like that, just because I think he's a Bukele's a forward-looking leader, and we'll see if that happens or not.
Their stable coin is the US dollar. So the number one currency in El Salvador is USD. So it's USDT, because Tether actually has a headquarters there, and that's the deal that he's done with Bukele, is that, hey, we'll come there, but USDT has to be the future digital currency of El Salvador. And Bukele's like, hey, built here. Go ahead. Yes, please.
Maybe they invested in the infrastructure too, and people might say, well, that might be bribing and etc. Dude, you have to remember where El Salvador came from, guys. Like, where it is today and where it was like even 5 years ago or like 8 years ago is night and day, and it's a place that people can go to without worrying about visiting now.
I wouldn't even call this like that though. I don't bribing, because this is like, hey, we're going to support whatever stablecoin wants to be here.
Government contract.
Here, yeah, if you want to be here, let's do a deal, right? So it's like if I'm gonna do what's best for my citizens, and if this is if this is the best decision I can make, and it's gonna make infrastructure here, we're gonna build roads, we're gonna do a lot of cool stuff here. We're using this money, hell yeah, sign us up. And what are we losing?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Crazy
Right?
concept, right? Like, do what's best for your citizens. Sounds crazy to me. Anyways, yeah. All right, guys, we are gonna get into the crypto fear and greed, and I actually been enjoying doing this because I realized just now in this very moment, I haven't been giving you any hints at all. Like, I will just be like, yesterday
I know,
was this,
I know.
last week it was
So
this.
good.
I'm gonna give you one today. Okay, so last week we were at greed at a 63. Yesterday, which was the day before yesterday, it was a 55. So last night, the hint is Steph Curry is known for this, and that is the number of difference between yesterday's and today's.
53.
There you
52,
go.
52.
No,
52.
you got it wrong. You got it wrong. No, you got it right. Your second guess, but yeah.
Okay.
That was a pretty good little hint, right?
Well, I had to think about it for a second. I was like, Steph Curry 50, Steph Curry 50. And I was like, oh, but then you said the last part of it. And that's where I got
when I said that's the difference.
My math wasn't mathing.
That was cool, unique little creative way to do it, right?
Yeah.
So cool. All right, guys, we are now going to get into the Bitcoin price action and crypto bubbles. I think Stan had a request. I will definitely get into that. If anybody else has any other coin requests on the crypto bubble side, just put it in the chat. I will take a look. But the Bitcoin price action and crypto bubbles is brought to you guys by Artura.finance. Artura.finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. You're going to be able to trade synthetic Bitcoin fungibles very soon on their platform, like Doggo to the Moon, $1 Billion Cat, Sats, Ortiz, and perhaps some of these popular alkanes as well. But you're going to be able to trade the traditional assets as well. XRP, Tau, Ethereum, Bitcoin you can trade right now as they're live on Botanix. Go use the platform Artura.finance. You can earn points, XP points for their future give back to early adopters. You're also earning points on the Botanix chain side as they're monitoring the transaction volume per address over there. So just take advantage of it. If you guys have any questions, let us know. Reach out to the team. We have them on every Tuesday. We're going to be starting something new with those guys, so stay tuned and we will update you guys for that. But before we get into the price action, help us out again on the YouTube side. We love you guys. You guys are awesome for helping us out. Hit that like, share the space, share the YouTube link, subscribe to the channel, all that great stuff. Hit the like on the X and on the abstract as well. Share that that link. We would greatly appreciate it, guys. Let's jump into some price action, starting with the hour chart. And man, what a beautiful green candle that someone threw on the WNBA court. I can't really say what what actually was thrown out in the court, but you guys get the comparison there. All right, cool. Yeah, so this looks really, really good, guys. We are back above the 50-day EMA on the hour chart. I know that it doesn't matter too much on the smaller time frame here on the hour chart, but I like seeing it above it. I'll tell you that. Can we maintain this? Is this just kind of a chop back and forth? I believe that it probably is, just because that's what we've seen, the past week and a half with Bitcoin. Day to day, it's been really just, kind of back and forth chop. But if we do see a consistency of an uptrend here in the next day or so, that could change, right? But the MACD looks really good. You can see here the fast line is almost pointing vertically here. It's not quite vertically, but it is in that upward trajectory. We'll see if we can maintain this. Let's pull the data back to, let's see here, 5 a.m. I love that data range there. 5 a.m. Let's look here. We are looking good with the support at the 115, 350 to 400 level, 450. We look good there. We look really good up here. And you can see there's not very much volume up here. So if we do have some really strong bids that push us up here, we could really go into this, free fly up. And so, typically in the low volume areas, that's where you can take advantage of that. But there needs to be some strong bids that are consecutive to push us up there. Right below that, we have really good support at the 115, 300 as well. It's dominating actually there. And there's a lot of volume there. So this is a good floor right here for the local, time frame here, or the next couple hours, I would imagine, or hour at least. But we'll see if we can continue this uptrend, because it doesn't look like it's exhausting quite yet. So we can see, like I said, opportunity right here. We get some really big, strong bids up here. We could get possibly to 116. That would be really good. We knock on the door of 116. That'd be really good for today. Let's see if that happens. So, obviously we have like a gigantic hour candle here with a decent sized one here. It looks like it wants to pull a little bit back, but I mean, our momentum indicators are showing that we still want to continue this. Let's see if this happens. So that's what I'm seeing for the second half of today. You know, obviously there's some positive price action. We do need some, you know, strong bids to come in to push us up higher here. If we don't get those, we'll probably keep exhausting, like knocking on the door, and eventually these will kind of break down a little bit. We might see it, you know, it swing back and forth, high 114s, low 115 kind of situation. But I do hope we do break above that because the opportunity is right there. All right, let's take a look at the 4 hour here. The 4 hour looks great. It has reversed. You can see here, this was the weirdest thing on the MACD that I've been seeing the past couple days is that, you know, it looked like the buy pressure was exhausted. Then it looked like it flipped up, and then it exhausted. It looked like it was exhausting again. Now we got a strong, to me, this is a strong direction though. You know, the other ones were kind of like up, down, up, down. We have taken a strong direction. These are strong 4 hour candles. I'm actually feeling pretty bullish here for the rest of today, possibly tomorrow for Bitcoin at least. And you guys already know how I feel about Ethereum. I feel like Ethereum is going to be taking advantage of this type of price action as well with the positive sentiment. We'll see if that continues. I'm liking where I'm seeing so far, but this could be a fake out. Just know that. But right now, looking pretty good in my opinion on the 4 hour. If we do get that strong push up, you know, those strong bids on the 1 hour chart, this could last until heading into the weekend. So the 4 hour chart will give us a 2 to 3 day forecast with Bitcoin. So I really like where we are. The setup looks great. I love all of it. All right, let's go here to this blank browser here. All right, let me go to the daily chart. So the daily chart needs to be flipped here, by the way. And I think we have an opportunity to at least get something going here. This one matters more for the 50-day EMA. It is the daily chart, so it's going to be, you know, that a bit of a higher time frame, right? The bigger time frame compared to the hour chart. We are starting to get this curl here on the MACD. So I really like where we are. We are above back again, but this is why I felt like it has been choppy back and forth here. You can see like, yeah, it got pretty nasty here on Saturday, and Sunday reversed here, but we got down to what, 112, and then Sunday kind of creeped back up and built it, but then we fell all the way back down. So like I need to see a couple of days of consistency. If we do get to 116.5 tomorrow, 117.5, we're now flirting with 118. We could be getting out of the sell pressure on the daily chart, which would be really good for where we are in August, in my opinion. I did say it could take a week to, you know, kind of get settled in, and this could have, you know, we're 1 day away from the first week of August. So let's see if this plays out. I really am feeling pretty good here. We'll see if we can continue this, but, you know, until I see a consecutive, you know, at least 2 more days of some green candles, or at least, you know, this strong green candle finishing today, we could have a weak green candle tomorrow, another strong green candle on Friday. I'll feel a lot better about this reversal coming out of this sell pressure here. All right, taking a look at the weekly. I love the weekly chart because every time you feel like the weekly chart is out, it bounces back. Now, I'm not going to jump the gun here. We do need to see how things end on Sunday, but, you know, the daily chart's giving us some hope. Every time frame has given us some hope, guys. Usually whenever you get those time frames matching up, anything starting from the hour and up, I start to feel confident because now we're aligned, like from, you know, smaller time frames to the larger ones. So, you know, we do need to see how the rest of this week plays out. But if we do have this continual positive price action for Bitcoin, I think we might be happy on Sunday. We'll see. All right, I'm done with Bitcoin now. Let's take a look at Ethereum here on the hour chart. Ethereum looks really good here. You know, kind of very similar setup to Bitcoin. You see the hour chart just bounce back out of the exhaustion here. Let's actually get to the more fun stuff. Let's get to the daily here. Let's see if the daily has come out of, not yet. So Ethereum is a little bit behind Bitcoin on the daily. So, you know, Bitcoin has been in sell pressure for much longer than Ethereum, but Ethereum can catch up very quickly and pull out of here. As we said, Ethereum is the one that has shown more sustainable strength here, right? So we'll see if this continues, but I'm liking where we are here. I'm going to go into my favorite chart, which is the monthly chart for Ethereum right now, because it is the one that tells me, even if Bitcoin does, you know, pull back some, that we have a shot on the monthly chart to really start to go into some buy pressure. We started the small candle here, but you know, it starts there sometimes. You saw how it was here back in December of 2023, and then it got bigger and bigger. And you know, the bullish thing about this situation is if we don't get a fake out here like this to me is a fake, kind of a fake out here, right? Yeah, there was a strong one candle here, but it really exhausted after 3 MACD candles and then went into some strong sell pressure. So, but this was the oversold part of 2025, the first 4 months of this year, and I don't think we get that right now. I just don't think we, like, Ethereum was got down to $1,800. Congratulations to the ones that picked it up at that point. I just don't see us having a replication of this here in the next month or so at all to finish out the year. I actually am bullish. I think we experience more of this coming up. Now, what does that mean? That means we have an opportunity to kind of get past that 4120 area, right? The 4120 is like right here. Right here in this area, right? It's not far from where we are. So we can really kind of get past here and blow past here and then go into this oversold kind of activity that I'm calling for to match this, overbought activity that I'm calling for to finish out the year, to match kind of what we saw at the beginning of the year, right? This oversold territory was extremely oversold. I think I might be a little bit too bullish with Ethereum, because I'm not typically that type of person. I'm very conservative, but I just feel it. I feel it in me loins.
I still don't think you're bullish enough. Like, you say you're bullish. I still don't think you're bullish enough, dude. I don't think you're
I'm calling for like 55, 6,000. I think that's
I'm calling
bullish.
for 9,000.
Okay, but you always got to do that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, so that is going to be Bitcoin and Ethereum's price action, guys. Hopefully that helped you guys out, but I'm going to jump to some of these crypto bubbles, and it looks much better than it looked yesterday. So that's definitely a good thing here. Let's take a look here. It looks like where is he at? Mamo. All right. I'll get into Mamo in a second here, but let's hit some of these notables here. Let's start with the meme coin. Sheeb up 3.2%. You got a Doge up 2.8%. SPX 5.2% with an uptick there. Pepe up 3.8%. We got Flocky up 2.7%. Trump coin up 1.6%. So the memes are looking pretty good here. Let's look at some utility. Stacks up 2.4%. No one's talking about stacks, so I have to always bring them up on here. Crypto.com up 6. People are going to hate me for that, the stacks people, but I don't care. I love you guys. All right, 6.9%. Crypto.com Crow token is up 7% there. We got AVAX pulling up 2.2%. Solana pulling up 2.9%. So this is looking good, guys. Virtual's pulling up 3.7%. I love to see this. Tau pulling up 2.7% because going from yesterday and early morning today, it just looked bloody. BNB pulling up 2.3%. Jupiter pulling up 2.4%. Fartcoin pulling up 3% here. I missed that one in the memes. And we talked about this yesterday. Crypto Ran actually brought it to my attention, but Shizzy and I have been talking about pump for the last 2 weeks in terms of this could be that, hated rally. And it looks like it might be starting here. It's up 7.5%. I think to get that confirmation that we are on the way to a headed rally here, I think you have to get to 0.0045. I think at that point we got out of the threes and kind of made midway through the fours. And then the whole 100% buyback thing is definitely bullish for it. You guys know I'm not a big fan of the founder here or the project, but it looks like, hey, he's learned from his mistakes maybe, and he's pouring back in. You got ADA here, Cardano up 2.4%. What else do we have? Ondo up 2.1%. All right, let's take a look at the top 200 here. All right, we got Syrup up 10.8%. Syrup is a part of the Maple project. You got Mog up 6.6%. Toshi up 10.2% from Base Chain. Eigenlayer up 5.8%. Eigenlayer is up. That means everything's up probably. Core up 2.4.
Dude, this is insane.
Right, I know, it's looking good, right? A Core up 2.4%. Brett up 2. Was there some news that just hit? I feel like news just hit or something. Brett up 2.5%. Snek has been on a good strong run. Their community looks really strong. They're up 2.8%. Pith up 3.2%. All right, now let's look into some of the ones that you guys mentioned here. I think there's only been one so far. Mamo. Let's take a look at Mamo. Mamo is up 8.8% on the day. For the week, it's up 78.7%. For the month, it's up 257%. Now, I got to admit, I'm not sure what Mamo is, Stan. So maybe you can drop a comment into the chat of what Mamo is, but it is ranked 477. So it is in the top 500. So it must be an up and coming token there. Definitely will look into Mamo myself and
So I
go ahead.
Yeah, so I just found something. So basically, PancakeSwap now offers U.S. stock perps on chain. Apple, Amazon, and Tesla contracts are live on PancakeSwap right now. I don't know if that's pushing the markets, but I thought that was pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, definitely big news there, more adoption, right? But that is going to be it for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto bubbles for the alt market price action. I hope that helped you guys. It was definitely fun to do that. It's definitely fun to do it every day, but pass it over to Shizzy to do some roll call.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So every single day we like to jump into the roll call. We like to and we do is we take the first name of the day and we put it on a sheet here. So let's bring up the roll call banner. All right, then I'll just grab here. So today's first is first. Can you take a look at who that is?
Yes, the first is Rare Sets Dom.
Whoa, that's a new one. Congratulations to you, my friend. Let me put you in here. Rare Sets Dom. Congratulations. You have your first win of the year. Absolutely amazing to you, man. Really, really cool to have you here every single day, Rare Stats Dom. Every single day. Appreciate you, my friend. It's been awesome. But you got your first win. Guys, I want everyone to make this list. I really, really, really do. I think it's going to be really, really awesome. But yeah, we might do something for every single person that makes this list. Not guaranteeing anything yet, but we're trying to figure out ideas and stuff like that. So shout out to you, my friend. And then right after, just a few minutes later, WebDrill hops in. Shout out to WebDrill, man. He's always on it, man. Really appreciate that. Mats was right behind him. Shout out to Mats. Tim Baker, AOD Art himself, my guy. Appreciate you, my friend. 1+@ is here. 1=X is here. Thanks for being so consistent. Thank you, man. I mean, that's if we're not good, we're at least we're consistent, right?
You're not getting rid of us.
we ain't going nowhere, guys. Lackey Lukey is here. Shout out to Lackey Lukey. Merlin's Lucky is here. Choda is here. Shout out to Choda. And we have No is here. Shout out to No. Shout out to Lackey Lukey again. Shout out to Superfan, my guy. GM. Appreciate you, my friend, here every single day. Absolutely amazing, dude. He said, how you feeling, my bros? I think I can speak for both of us, man. So we're feeling good. As the green hits, man, my mood was getting better and better as the show was going. Not gonna lie, and now you just doing the price action definitely has a smile on my face. So really looking forward to what the rest of this week brings, man. I was kind of down on it, but now I'm kind of feeling the other way. So shout out to you, my friend. Chief Axel's here. Shout out to Chief Axel. Stan says, does the channel have an opinion on digital matter theory ecosystem? Thanks. So I just don't like the tap protocol. Like I just don't like the, I if it was a rune, I would say 100%. If they figured out a way to put it in the rune type of area, I would say 1,000,000%. But since it's a tap token, since they're all tap tokens or tap NFTs, I'm just not bullish. What about you, Yago?
So I don't know if you've seen recently in crypto Twitter, but the NAT token has jumped up in price a lot.
Yeah, it's because the one of the miners figured out that they had it and they dumped like $70,000. How's that bullish?
Well, the price went up though.
Because the people are saying it as like the miners are signaling that the miners say this is something
they're validating it,
but they're selling it. It's kind of like the miners selling FB
or the miners selling what's the other one that we were Bells.
Exactly. This is not bullish, guys.
The difference between those two, though, is this one's on Bitcoin. I think that does make some of a difference. But look, I'm just saying that I did see that on crypto Twitter. If it does continue to go up and there's more miners that acknowledge it, I think we have to have a different conversation.
If the miners keep acknowledging it and keep just dumping it as they go.
No, I said if the price goes up as miners acknowledge it as like a reward and the price continually goes up. Now, if it goes down, then and they acknowledge it, then obviously it's like that's dangerous, like to get into.
Well, what happens now? I forget which one it was. I think it was Ant, right? Ant Pool. I think it was them. So what happens if they contact all the other miners and say, "Hey, send us your nats. We'll give you like half of the value. You don't have to worry about selling it. We'll handle it all." And then they just constantly just dump the whole thing on the exchanges. And then I mean, the FB token. What the worst decision that they ever made was to merge mine the FB with Bitcoin, because it's just there's no chance of it ever popping because the miners just hold so much of it and they're trying to find liquidity to sell it. Same thing here. It's not like NAT is on, and if they try to sell NAT on Taproot swap, the liquidity is going to get eaten up in like 30 minutes. Like this is not a good thing.
So there could be two scenarios that come out of this, in my opinion. One, and this will be it because I know we got to go through roll call here, but one could be that the miners hype it up because they want to make extra money, and so they hype it up and get the price up, and then they dump on everybody. I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. It's a possibility.
They're going to do that.
But or two, they just dump straight away. So I don't really see a too positive. And this is not. I love block runners. I think this is like it's innovative in what they're trying to do here. Yeah. But it's going to be hard to get this narrative really popular. But if they could do it, man, then I'll props to them.
The standard is just too hard. Like they don't have a dot swap. Like Taproot swap just isn't it? Like no one's using it. No volume there.
And that's the problem. They're in the. It's not about DMT. DMT is novel. I love the concept of it. I like it, but I think it's in a tough ecosystem that's had a tough time getting adoption. And if it was like Alkanes, or if it was something that's getting momentum, it could be different, but who knows? Like I'm not counting those guys out, so I respect those guys, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, what the real telling tale is if this coin keeps going up, right? I mean, obviously, number to go up technology is working, but like then you're gonna have miners be like, "Well, I used to have $17,000 in this token; it wasn't worth it to me. Now I have $34,000 in this token. That now I want that because I can buy 0.3 of a Bitcoin with that, right?"
Who would say $17,000 is not worth it though?
Mora, because there's a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. So you have to. It's not like you can go sell this token. You have to figure out how to use this token, right?
True,
so you have to hire a team to do this. You got to do the fucking transfer inscription bullshit, right? We're dealing with that stuff again, right? So it's one of those things where it's not easy to do this. You're gonna have to hire someone who knows. I mean, you can hire me. I'll do it for you. But like, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna have to hire someone to do it for you because their guys ain't gonna spend the time to figure that out. And it's not easy to sell that shit. It's not. So
yeah, which I think is like they deserve some respect because they're not giving up. They're like pushing. We'll see if they where it goes.
And I'm in the camp F the miners. Like I'm tired of the miners. They've been just taking off the Bitcoin layer 1 ecosystem forever. And they power the ecosystem. And it's like, you know what I mean? Well, let's go to proof of stake then. Let's, you know what I mean? Screw the miners. That's just kind of where I'm at with the mine. I hate the mining at this point. Like I know it keeps the chain line, keeps it centralized, whatever. But I'm just not into giving miners free money anymore. Hillbilly is here. Shout the Hillbilly. Rune World is here. Shout the Rune World. Thank you for reposting this. That means so much. You got us, man. If you guys can repost this, I do love how X shows that now. That's something that's new. Shows people that reposted the stream. So absolutely cool. Tim Cook. Superfan says Tim Cook was the first to get tariff exception from Trump. Apple cannot recreate their supply chain here, so they got to pass. So that might be the interesting. Yeah, we'll find out at 4:30. I'm definitely going to be tuning in. I'm sure like there's going to be a question about Jerome Powell in there as well, right? I don't know, but it might be something where Apple is going to be building a facility here, and maybe we're giving them a discount on the tariffs if they do something like that. That could be pretty big.
Yeah.
Then we have my man Hydro Sapien. Appreciate you, man, so much here every single day. Mark Smith is here. Mark Smith, he says, "How is streaming going, champ?" I don't know if this guy is real. Just drop a follow. Did not mind following back. 100%, man. Shout out to Mark Smith. Rick G is here. He says, "Long live Alkanes."
Hey.
Evolution. Thank you so much. Rick G, man, he's always on top of it. He always into the next. I'm bullish on Alkanes. I just think it's too early. Like I am somebody who's been too early to everything. So trust me when I say it might be too early, but I'm definitely bullish on Alkanes. I just don't think getting in now is a really good opportunity. I think getting in a few months after Runes really takes off is the real opportunity. Could be wrong, just my opinion. Stan says depositing dog at Bank America. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but we'll see. Cash Cats is here with the coffee and the donuts and the dog. Go to the moon. Shout out to Cash Cats, my guy. I really appreciate you, my friend. Cash Cats is hitting the like and having that to run. Appreciate you doing that, man, every day. It really means a lot to us, guys. If you don't mind pressing that like for us, even if you're only here for a little bit of time, it really helps the show. It really helps the algorithm push out the content to new viewers. Myself says, what's the play on base chain? I think the play on base chain is a nice, safe bet called Velodrome. I think Velodrome with this partnership with Coinbase is going to see tons of TVL there now. What do you think? What do you think a nice safe play is there?
Velodrome is what, like 1.5 billion. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think because they have been tagged as like the Uniswap for base chain, that they're going to get a lot of opportunity and investment, and probably a more product rollout as well, because I think they'll get institutional investment. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that is probably going to be one of the top plays. I do think that there's going to be AI stuff that they roll out there too, because I know that, you know, Brian Armstrong and Jesse Pollak really want AI stuff to or something. I know they didn't show a ton of support to virtuals, but like I think it was because weren't they like they were invested in one of the big AI projects. That was why. Banker, maybe? Yeah, it is Banker.
Banker.
Right? Banker.
Banker's in their wallet. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something to look at. But infrastructure wise, I would say probably Aerojump too.
Yeah, definitely. And then you can you know there's some other ones there as well, but you're going further down the risk curve. If you want a nice safe bet, I think for sure. And Banker could be another one, right? So.
Yeah.
Stan says AI will get a massive burn for verified Coinbase listings. What does he mean? We'll get a massive burn for verified Coinbase listings.
I'm not sure. What do you mean by that, Stan?
Yeah, he might say he has another post here as well. He might say it in there. Stan says DeFi, in my opinion, 100%. Alpha Gamer is here. Stan says this is bullish for base, right? No DEX, no SEX, or attempting such Herculean efforts. Coinbase about to reach Amazon. Yeah, Coinbase, in my opinion, will pass Amazon one day. I think. Oh yeah, the other one could be a really good one is Farcaster. So Farcaster is a Twitter competitor. But they're saying they might have an airdrop for governance. So potentially they want to be a decentralized protocol, and having a governance token could do that for them. So using I go on Farcaster every now and then, and I'll send a couple messages there just so potentially get the airdrop there. So that could be one as well. Alpha Gamer says, correct, Yagobi. The more options for people to have access to the crypto ecosystem, then this is good for the entire ecosystem overall to get mass adoption, thus more liquidity. 100%. 100%. Stan says Momo for the bubbles. And yeah, well, I'll look into that as well. I never heard it can't be on page 3 or 4, can it?
Yeah, it was on page 4 of the crypto bubbles, but
gotcha.
Yeah, we could look further into what that protocol does.
Alpha Gamer says historically August and September are bearish months. Okay, we talked about that already. Alpha Gamer says my thesis is bearish short term, but will turn bullish towards the end of August as the markets will front run a rate cut for September. But can that start now, Alpha Gamer? Like, can it start now? Like, you know,
Alpha Gamer put it. He put something in the chat that made me like really. Turn my mood around, man.
All right, let me see. He says, "Dog, go to the moon." Alpha Gamer says,
"No, it's the very last one." Yeah. Oh, go.
Okay.
Ahead,
in the flippening, he says this too. He says, "Yes, that would piss me off if we get no bear market, because that is how crypto millionaires are created. They're created in the bear market when they're but this is the bear market. You have all your opportunity right now." Right, we might have 2 years of this. You know, you normally have 2 years of. Dude, we had 3 years of a bear market, like from January 2022 until now. It's been 3.5 years of technically a bear market, right? So let's just reverse that. Let's have 3 years of a bull market. Stan says, wow, on-chain solved elections. Dude, I think it really can. USDT in El Salvador, Alpha. Yeah, 100%. He says, Alpha Gamer says, recall that the bottom for Bitcoin for the cycle is 15,460 during the bear market. People bought up there around 700%. Yeah, that's true. But then you had a lot of people calling for for bigger drop, right? So it wasn't easy to do it if you did do it there. Rune's Dex is higher. Stan says if the country has been left behind during Web 2 and they don't upgrade for Web 3, it's right 100%, dude. 100%. If you're still not, if your country doesn't have a web page, right? Like we have us.gov, then I don't know. You're just not going to make it regardless. Govern to control meant equals mind.
Govern equals to control. Meant equals mind. Yeah, I'm not sure what that second part.
Yeah. KDN says, GM guys, have a great day. My man, appreciate you, my friend. WebDro says bullish. RuneDeck says ETH to 9K. Where does that put dog? So real quick, ETH to 9K is just ETH catching up to where Bitcoin is. Bitcoin hit 124, which was basically double its 2021 all-time high. And Ethereum getting to 9,600 is just doubling its 2020 all-time high. And that kind of puts them on the same playing field. But yes, Ethereum is that leading indicator that will put dog around 2 billion in my opinion. Is that fair? ETH at 9K, dog at 2 billion.
Yeah, I mean ETH at 9K, everybody's freaking beers flowing in the streets. You know what I mean? Everybody's happy. So yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, 2 billion is a reasonable expectation.
I still think that's just the beginning. I mean, that'll put ETH at $1 trillion, right? So a little over $1 trillion. So I think ETH can hit 2 trillion this cycle with Bitcoin headed closer to 10 trillion. So we'll see. Myself said I think ETH will be 10K in December. I feel the same way. I think it's very fair at this point. ETH is an institutional asset. Yeah, 100%. It will be. Always will. It always has been. Really, they just didn't know it. Tom Lee of BMNR is leading that narrative. Yes, we love Tom Lee on the show.
And he can't sell. He can't sell, and he doesn't want to right now. But even if he wanted to, he can't sell right now because that would cause a waterfall effect, in my opinion. But he doesn't want to because he's not even close to that. But that's the bullish part of Ethereum is like these reserve companies or whatever you want to call them. They all have to keep buying because it's a part of the model. Up until a certain point.
I think it's different with Ethereum though because you're staking it. It's not the same with Bitcoin because Bitcoin you're not getting anything. If let's just say if you're getting 100 like $5 million a month in staked ETH, that's still technically really good, right?
Yeah, so, that is very good. But I mean, even if you look at the what is it, because of the burning mechanism though, it still kind of keeps the supply like but yeah, you're right. In terms of being able to sell down, they have more freedom than the Bitcoin strategy with Bitcoin. But they're not going to want to sell down and probably until.
Why would you ever want to sell down? Because you're losing out on free ETH.
No, what you were saying, I thought you were saying was they have the option to sell down their rewards.
No, I'm just saying they don't have to continue to buy. Like let's just say Tom Lee gets to 1 million. If MicroStrategy stopped buying, they're going to lose hope. Right, but with I think with the staking mechanism, they can stop buying, but I don't think they should ever sell.
But because that won't be the headline though. The headline still has to be, this company Tom Lee acquired this much more. Not they earned from staking. That's not bullish.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Tom Lee earned $5 million last week from staking.
Yeah, but that's not as bullish in my opinion as them taking more cash out and putting it in. That to me is
they're not as bullish, but I'm just saying they don't have to do that, Mm-hmm. But real quick here, we'll just keep moving. Myself says I'm rooting for those block runner guys. I think what they discovered is pretty clever. I'm bullish on DMT. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very niche. It's niche on a niche on a niche, right? So it's going to be really tough for them to sustain that, even in a bull, and especially in a bull. I think in a bear run, it's actually easier for them to sustain it because there's not much attention anywhere else. But once the attention starts getting crazy, can they find light in the tunnel, right? Can they be something there?
The only way that that Nat does well is if they keep arguing about the security model of Bitcoin and how you need to scale out, and then these hard-headed core people are like, well, now we can use this instead. It's a backup incentive, something like that. But that's very small percentage chance that could happen.
100%. And then Alf Gamer said, just saw an update on that base chain went down for 20 minutes with a full shutdown. It's going viral on X. That is crazy.
It's not affecting any pricing though, so that's good.
Is that true though?
I don't know. That's what the first thing I thought was, oh crap, we're gonna probably see some, nervousness, but no, we're not.
Yeah. All right, guys. It is that time. Every Wednesday, we like to showcase one of our partners. And that partner this week is the great guys over at Sats Terminal. Sats Terminal, they're doing really, really amazing things, guys. They're actually being the DEX aggregator for the Bitcoin ecosystem. This is really big because today, I don't know if you noticed, Yagobi, but there's people yelling on the timeline they couldn't buy dog on Kraken because Kraken geo-blocked everybody from every country. So your VPN
What
wasn't working.
happened?
I don't know, for about 2 hours, but that wouldn't happen. I was telling people that doesn't happen on Sats Terminal, because when you buy on Sats Terminal, you're buying, from many different places, right? They're going to find you the best price at that minute, right? So if that best price is on Magic Eden, they're going to get it for you. If that best price is on DotSwap, they're going to get it for you. If that best price on Runes DEX, they're going to get it for you. That's why Sats Terminal is so important, is because this will allow, you can never go down on chain, right? But you will have issues with decentralized exchanges where something just happens, some intern comes in and means the geo block this area, but ends up geo blocking every area in the world, right?
That would be a pretty big mistake for an intern.
100%. But the guys at Sats Terminal, this is an amazing team. They're not just building the aggregator, they're building much, much more than this. This is probably going to be one of the bigger companies in the Bitcoin L1 ecosystem. And I say that for a lot of different reasons. And I can't wait for you guys to see what we're being teased with here and there from these guys. Really excited for that. So without further ado, let's bring up Cyclops. Cyclops, welcome back to OnChain Revolution. Thanks so much for being here, sir.
How's it going, guys?
Going well, man. How have you been? I feel like it's been like a week since we talked to you.
It's been a while. Just busy building some stuff in the background. But how are you guys?
Doing good. Shizzy's, I guess, on vacation, but he's working. I don't know. It's kind of what he does. But
That's a terrible vacation.
Yeah. Well, he's like, man, I gotta watch the kids at the water park too. It's like work.
Dude, when you have kids, vacation is not vacation. Vacation is a checklist of things that you have to do, and you got to do them, right? So it's different than anyone else. When people like Yagobi's wife go on vacation, they actually go on vacation. Like they enjoy themselves. When you have kids, you can't wait to get back to work.
Yeah,
for sure. But you guys have some fans here, specifically you from Runes DEX here. I'm not going to read that, but we got Rashab too. We got Rashab in the house. What's up, Rashab?
What's up, guys? Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Wait, is that a telescope in the background?
Yeah, I've had that in like every team call for the past 2 months.
Because that's like Silicon Valley. It's like I was looking at my telescope. It's like, of course you were.
So to give some context to the audience here, and most of them know you guys, but Rashab is the CTO of Sats Terminal. Anything breaks, he is demanded to fix it in 0.5 seconds, which he gets done, surprisingly. And then Cyclops is the CMO of the company. So, you guys have a really fulfilled team. You guys hit on all cylinders. But yeah, let's start with Rashab. We haven't heard from you in a minute. How are things going with Sats Terminal from a tech perspective? And what are you seeing with the Bitcoin ecosystem from a tech perspective? Are you seeing innovation left and right? If you could maybe give us a breakdown here.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been building and like being creative with everything going on Bitcoin. Like last week we saw La Bitbu, which is super random, but it's like, it just helps explore what's possible with Bitcoin. And you could see how quickly when people get excited about something, like a whole community and almost like a movement forms around it, where people start contributing. Like I think CB Spiracy tweeted that, and then minutes after, a couple of hours later, dropped dev tools to like see it, and then later to actually inscribe it, and then like another day later, Statflow and then Magic Eden had it open for trading on their marketplaces. So I think that's almost like a beauty of a relatively bearish market, where everybody wants something new that they're like excited about and want something to work on. And now that when something exciting comes up, everybody rallies to like build around it. And we saw a lot of that this week. And on our end, we've been heads down working on getting some more integrations live. A lot of new AMMs have been coming out. So RAT5 came out recently. So we're looking into how we can integrate that. At the same time, we're also working with Spark quite a lot. I think the announcement is not, we've not announced it on Twitter yet, but I think we've spoken about Hedge, our mobile wallet here before. And we want to use Spark as the base layer for that. So all your Bitcoin there will sit in a Spark wallet, and then you'd be able to spend it either on mainnet or Lightning or on Spark. So yeah, we've been working closely with them on that. And later when trading comes out, explore what can we build to help make trading on Spark better as well. Yeah, and then also lots of updates from the Borrow product. I guess you guys have seen it. I don't think we've made anything public about it yet, but we're very close to actually opening it up to some of our early supporters to come in and try it.
Love it. Love it. So you guys are getting into the lending and borrowing aggregation game, which I think makes complete sense for you guys to add to your suite of products there. And, you know, you first of all, the first project you talked about, I saw that on my timeline. What was it called? Labubu?
It was Labubu.
Ledibu? Anyways. Okay, Labitbu. Okay, was it a playoff of Labubu?
There's a toy my daughter has called Labubu,
yeah,
and it's like taking the world by storm right now.
Is this a playoff of that kind of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So from a technical perspective, Rashab, could you kind of explain like how it worked and what made it unique? Because I don't understand it. I just see like CB Spears talking about it and saying that he can't find his. So I'm just like, okay, what's wrong with it?
So sorry guys, just give me 1 second.
Okay. No worries.
Trying to fix audio on my end.
No worries, no worries. All right, Cyclops, do you know anything about Labubus or Ledabus?
Not a thing. I know they're those like stuffed animals that like people like film themselves opening and then they get all excited. But
it's like a box. You open it up and you don't know which. It's like Beanie Babies, right? You open it up and you don't know which one you're gonna get, and then you get one. And it's like the new version of Beanie Babies. Is the easiest way to say it. But I don't know how they're doing that on chain. But real quick, Cyclops, I have a question for you. So today, I did mention it when I'm bringing you up, but like Kraken had a problem today where they geo-blocked the world from buying dog. What do you think about that? And maybe you can hit on why it doesn't matter for you guys.
Well, I mean, we're decentralized, so like that's not going to happen. You don't have to enter in your IP address or anything like that. Or actually, maybe we do read. I don't know. Like Rashab can answer that stuff, but that sucks that people couldn't buy dog. It's kind of funny though.
And they couldn't. The problem is too. It's like dog pumped because everything pumped, right? So that early this morning it was like 2-4 on Kraken because people can only sell. You couldn't buy it. So dog was just dumping today, and nobody could come in and buy the dip.
Oh, so Kraken was keeping us down this whole time?
Pretty much. I mean,
don't
on accident.
Don't fight for a Kraken listing.
Oh no, I know you're joking around, but you brought up your decentralized, meaning that like the protocol doesn't do it's a decentralized protocol, so it doesn't do a geo kind of blocking or whatever, and so anybody can come in. And typically, what I researched was that you actually get about 1 to 2% more runes going this way because you're not paying that extra fee and all that stuff. Am I accurate with that?
Say that again. I was just reading it.
Like if you go through SAS Terminal, you'll get possibly between 1 and 2% more runes of going the decentralized route because it kind of jumps over those centralized fees and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. So our SAT stream algorithm. So you'll get either the cheapest of all the AMMs, or you're going to get the cheapest collection of order book orders to fulfill your needs. So, which is great, especially for like larger orders, because they'll find the correct amount to like reduce the number of UTXOs, to reduce the number of transaction fees, to go into your order.
Gotcha. So what are you seeing in the market? Like, I know that you guys are heads down with SAS Terminal, and you guys been in spaces with other builders in the Bitcoin ecosystem. But What are you seeing in the market? Are you seeing just kind of a stagnant building with other builders, or getting prepared for what possibly is going to happen in Q4? What's the feel that you're getting as a CMO?
So for CMO, I've been working on something deep, so I haven't seen it as much. But I do think that there's like a lot of the stablecoins that are coming online from the Genius Act. And then when I just look at the broader market, it seems like, I mean, it's hard to tell what's going on there, because MicroStrategy is always going to be buying Bitcoin as long as it's going up. But I mean, I don't know. When I go on the timeline, I see a lot of conspiracy theories. So try not to bring that up.
I love that. I like Watch the Y-Files too much, I think. But yeah, I love that show too. But like after like my third one, I was like 99% of this stuff probably not real. Because like he comes in at the end and follows up with it. But yeah. So you know, going back to let's go back to the Bitcoin ecosystem though. Like, what are you seeing there? Are you seeing like anything new? Are you talking to new projects to integrate? Like from a marketing perspective, what is your like focus on right now?
I can't say what like a focus is like for sure, just because it's a little bit secret right now. But Rashad, like in terms of like the development, like you probably have a better pulse right now, right? With all the people that we're working.
Yeah, so like I was saying earlier, like a lot of you guys can hear me now, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we have a lot of integrations going live soon. On our end, we've been adding .swap v3. So that recently, I think a month or so came out, and then but to integrate it, we had to like do a complete rehaul of our backend, because instead of signing one, you have to sign like, it's like a multiple step transaction. So you have to sign multiple PSBDs. So we had to make some changes on the aggregator to enable that. And that's going live like this week on our front end first, and then later to partners. So Magic Key, Nexus, etc. And like right now, yeah, like RadFi is new. We're still like on a wait and watch mode for RadFi, where it's like we're seeing how much volume they end up getting in like 2 weeks from now, and based on the demand there, we'll like try and figure out how to integrate it. Because with them, I think you still need to, you're depositing the Bitcoin into like a RadFi wallet and then trading it, which is very similar to Odin Fund. And we've steered away from protocols where the transactions are not atomic, primarily for security reasons, and like also because it changes how our infrastructure works quite a lot. But if there is significant demand for it, then we would like consider adding that to the aggregator. Generally, I think, yeah, I think that's where we're at with on the aggregator side. And in the meantime, we want to launch like the borrow product to make sure people are able to, you know, get some more Bitcoin, increase their exposure to Bitcoin, and like still speculate while holding.
Yeah, man. So, with runes, are you guys seeing like a lot of trading still happening? Even with the, we're seeing a lot of potential Kraken listings. Are you guys worried at all about that as well? Do you think that Kraken could take away some volume from OnChain?
Like honestly, since Kraken listing and like since Kraken teasing that listing, we've only seen like increase in volume, because when Kraken started announcing that they're going to list Dog, a lot of people like obviously it rallied, and then a lot of people started trading that and the other runes like Dog and MIM. But like, do we think that a lot of people are going to move to Kraken and not trade on chain? Not really. I feel we still have a lot of the whales transacting through the wallet and through the platform. I do think it might be the case that some people just want instant liquidity, and they would prefer just depositing on a CEX and then like trade there. But I just think it's such a small subset of people that are first comfortable putting their Bitcoin Yeah, it's like a subset of a subset. So first you need to be comfortable using a CEX and keeping your Bitcoin there. And then you need to be comfortable or know what runes are and then be willing to trade those runes. So, and I feel those two sets of people that are comfortable with CEXs and would trade there and our degens trading runes are like quite disjoint. So you wouldn't have, wouldn't be affected too much. Yeah. And at the same time, it also does. Oh, sorry. I was saying, and at the same time, it creates this opportunity to like run our bots between on-chain pools and through our API, and then the CEX prices.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. I was thinking like if you have an exchange like Kraken, well, what's going to happen if Kraken jumps in price? You're going to have somebody on there who wants to arbitrage that price difference. They're going to sell on Kraken and buy on chain, or let's just say that the Kraken price dumps like this morning. You have people sell on chain and then buy on Kraken. This opens up, I think, more reason for something like Sats Terminal because again, you guys do find the best prices, so it's kind of stupid not to go to you guys first. So I think that's so big. The arbitrage could be actually more than anything else.
Yeah, I think I don't know if we have people running our bots right now. I mean, even between like Dog on other chains, like I think Solana, they have pools, and then Dog on Bitcoin. There's, I'm pretty sure, I haven't looked into this, but there should be room to like arb between those two prices. So if anybody wants to do it, like reach out, we'll set you up with an API key and we'll set you up with, everything on the platform so you can track and monitor prices better. Yeah, we don't know of anybody doing this, but there might be alpha there to actually trade and make some money. Yeah.
That's good to me.
Yeah. Rashab, so you being the technical side of everything, and let's look down like a year and a half. I know that's kind of far down the line, but what would you say would be ideal for Sats Terminal? Would it be to only have products that exist in Bitcoin layer 1, because you mentioned kind of like your system and how it flows well, or would it be to expand cross chain as well? What would you say would be a ideal situation that you would like?
I think we've always kept our roots to, we want to keep our roots to Bitcoin with all of our products. Like most of our products involve at least one transaction on mainnet, because one of our core thesis was that we want to make sure that there's more mainnet trading activity, because that helps with the security budget, helps keep the chain secure. But at the same time, there are a lot of powerful tools that exist in other ecosystems that helps Bitcoin holders. Things like on-chain lending pools, or the ability to trade perps. There would be products like I think Middle just recently announced their fundraise too, and Middle would be coming out, which lets you do some of that as like a Bitcoin layer 2, where transactions are still sort of atomic, where it's like I think it's something like within a transaction you're bridging onto Middle and bridging out, so you could do a swap on Middle and then bridge out, similar to like Arch. I sidetracked a bit there, but basically there are these things that exist on other chains which are of benefit to Bitcoin holders, and we want to be able to bring that to them with good user experiences as well. So if that's like again the Borrow product, that one is already cross-chain. We support Base, Arbitrum, Solana, Polygon, and ETH mainnet there already. So, but just in that case, what we're doing is we are trusting a wrapped asset like CB or WBDC, but what that helps us do is it helps us open up the market for Bitcoiners to access that and then do get loans or later speculate in like perpetuals. And the way we build the product is your Bitcoin wallet still remains the main signer, so you don't have to go and set up MetaMask or something like that. You have a platform wallet on these other chains, which still has like your Bitcoin wallet as like the main signer.
Abstraction.
Yes, a lot of abstraction there. Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of how the future is going towards, right? Especially if you want to have a Bitcoin native feel to it. So I love that, because you're still hanging on to what your principles are with how the company started, but also not being too stubborn to say, okay, like we're going to close off these opportunities for our end users and customers as well. Cyclops, like from a marketing perspective, how do you market that though? Like, how do you market the cross-chain ability and stuff like that?
To new people.
Okay, so basically, that's good though.
Yeah, the whole point of like chain is because I remember when I first came into crypto, like I had bought Doge, right? And like it was all on Robinhood, and like I remember like this is why I kind of was sore towards ETH was I was asking the ETH guys. This is like early 2021. I was like, how do I like buy stuff? They're like, oh, you need a wall. Like they were kind of like being like, oh, I'm super rich, I don't need to talk to you. And then I was like, I don't know, I'm just like on Robinhood. What do I do? And like they sent me to like Sushi Swap, and I was like, but how do I use this? Like I don't know. And they're like, you don't know what a wallet is, and they just were all like laughing at me, and like that was it. And so it was like then I went to like another ecosystem, and they actually helped me like get off an exchange and everything. So I just think it's like, you know, you're on a SEX, it's already in a sense chain abstraction, and then you're basically like, hey, look, just buy dog, it's the best one, or you know, you just push all the runes, and then you just say, hey, you got like, you know, like you push something like a Tokyo wallet or a chain abstraction wallet, have them all come on, and then they're just going to have their assets. And I think it's just a lot easier than going through all these like these. It's just, even from my perspective, it's like having 50 wallet extensions is just a horrible UX. So it's like the sooner it gets to that, I just think it's better. And like when you're like, people will figure out the tech, but like in the very beginning, they don't need to worry about that. Like it's too much tech to learn in the very beginning. It's better just to get off into a wallet first, which is already hard to do. And then once they're there, they'll slowly start picking it up because they'll start going to swaps, you know, and they'll be like, oh, this is so much better, in my opinion. So
yeah, love it. I could show you guys, I don't know how much time we have on, but I could show you like a walkthrough of how like a chain abstracted experience with Borrow looks like. I could show my screen and do it.
Would love that.
Let's do it.
Just a second.
This is alpha, guys. I mean, whenever you get the team from Sats Terminal or, you know, On-Chain Revolution, this is what we try to bring to you guys. You're actually seeing stuff that they don't show to the public. So I love that bottom left part though.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Nice. Gotta establish some trust there. Yeah. So yeah, the super simple calculator. You just put in the collateral amount you want to use, and then how much you're trying to borrow. You'll see all the terms, how much you're paying in fees and everything. You're paying super low fees. I think it's like 3 cents in this case, but it's also like a $5 loan against $10 of Bitcoin. And then when you're ready, it just walks you through every line item. So it tells you that we're using Aave to source your loan, what your LTV is in this case, loan term. So yeah, this one's interesting, right? So in this case, the loan is being taken on Base. That could be Arbitrum or ETH, depending on whichever is the cheapest pool. But in this case, it's Base. And this is just like, we're letting you know, but your experience doesn't change depending on which chain this is going to. You're not expected to have any gas tokens on that chain. And then in this case, your Bitcoin is being wrapped into CBBDC. And then whatever is your effective interest rate, origination fee, and then the platform wallet where the funds are going to go. And so yeah, you don't need to have like a MetaMask or something. You just get a platform wallet, and later you can even withdraw it to like an exchange or something.
That's a Solana wallet you just put up. So you're getting the USDC in Solana.
Oh no, but that was sorry, no. The address that I pasted was my Bitcoin address in case something goes wrong, and then the address. This is like my platform wallet address where the stable coins will be deposited. Yeah. So just give it a second, and then yeah, that's my deposit address, and then I can just use like our Xverse wallet. I'm just gonna send it through my Xverse wallet.
And when you get that, you get that to like, I don't know, whatever wallet you're using, you have to go to the Base chain, and it'll be USDC in Base. And
so that's the cool thing about this platform. Like we're doing chain abstraction, not just for Bitcoin, but for stable coins too. So you can go and withdraw this on Arbitrum and deposit into Hyperliquid if that's what you want to do. But like we on the platform itself, it feels like you have one USD balance and then you can spend it anywhere. And we'll take care of whatever bridging is required in the background, because it's the same thing. Like like you got the loan on Base, but I don't have ETH on Base. So even if I withdraw it to my MetaMask, what am I going to do with it? Right. So we don't want users to have that problem. So wherever we can, we've like abstracted chains away, we've abstracted gas away. And then now I just deducted my deposit on chain. And we got to, oh my God, what fee rate did I send this at?
Minus 0.00.
No, it was like 2.5, but I mean, it's for some reason people are doing stuff on the chain.
I have no idea what happened there.
You know what's crazy? These are still like, to me, they seem like low sats per VByte compared to what we experienced in 2023. Like 2023 was crazy. Yeah. Anyways, carry on.
No, I remember that. Yeah, there was the halving day, man. Like I paid like $700 for one. I have a transaction in the halving block. I don't think it's a flex, but well, I get to tell myself I have a transaction in the halving block. Yeah. And then it was. Well, I didn't expect me to be in the fourth block. I thought I'm sending it to my ex first. So I would be like somewhat in the first block, but doesn't seem like it. So I don't think this is happening by the time we're still on.
No worries.
Still on the call. But if you did get the loan, I could show you what it would look like. The cash comes into your account balance, and then you can withdraw it to your own wallet, your MetaMask or an exchange account. And you can manage each loan position separately. So this is one that's running that I got yesterday. Oh no, what is that?
This is so amazing. Like this is like you're using like 9 different technologies, chain abstraction. You're using bridges. It's pretty wild, man. This is really cool.
Thank you. We put a lot of time and energy into this product. I mean, we want people to feel that they were taken care of as they're using it. I don't know why these numbers are blank. I think this is still not production ready, so devs are probably doing something in the background. But when the loan's complete, you see like a confirmation. You can see all the transactions that went through, but everything's taken care of for you. So depositing into a pool, getting your stable coins, and then putting it in your platform wallet. And you don't need to worry about having gas in any of these chains or wallets because we just take care of all of it for you. Yeah.
Sounds great,
man. Thank you. Yeah, that's the product.
Yeah. I mean, I love the fact that you guys are adding more to your your whole product catalog because at the end of the day, aggregation for a DEX is awesome, but you guys are adding the borrowing, lending, and other stuff that the hedge app as well. So I'm super excited about all those releases, and we know that you'll let us know so we can let the audience know, and then we can do some live demoing as well. Once it is live, we can do some tutorials too. So awesome.
That's terminal aggregating everything. That's kind of
the aggregation of life. Even terminal.
Yeah, everything for Bitcoin, like that's the asterisk, right? So it's like all of our markets are still like in some way it's either WBTC, CBBTC based, so you still have to have Bitcoin. Yeah.
Let me ask you this though. This is my last question because we're wrapping it up here soon. But the block speeds. That's all. Obviously, it is what it is with Bitcoin. With that, in the future, do you think there'll be some way to work around that in any aspect at all?
I feel like things like Lightning is a good product to get around that because you have like instant
Spark could be, right?
Yeah, that's what I was coming to. Yeah, but okay. Lightning obviously has like really poor UX and limitations in its capabilities, which causes people to not use it. And I also feel like Lightning as an organization, maybe I'm wrong, and has not had as much of a structured marketing push, which Spark is bringing. And these sort of state chains I think will bring a much better experience, where some people might want to hold your Bitcoin with virtual UTXOs and like Spark, and then use that as a state chain to spend either on mainnet or pay Lightning invoices, or also just use the Spark layer to settle Bitcoin. So I think that'll be very, very exciting and would help work around that block speed problem.
Yeah.
Runedex had a comment there. He said, guys, it's RGB protocol. Check it out. A real good Bitcoin.
Real good Bitcoin. Yeah. I mean, you're 100% right though, Rashab, in terms of the marketing approach. Like, let's just be honest. Pre-ordinals in 2023, they probably had the worst marketing approach, all the meta protocols. Now it's gotten so much better, but it's still kind of, what is going to be these awesome solutions and stuff. But, builders like you guys are going to be bringing it to the forefront. People like Cyclops has that weight on his shoulders to make the world know about all this. And so, definitely awesome segment from you guys. We appreciate your time. We know you're super busy. I'd like to give you guys the stage one last time. Let's start with Cyclops.
Marketing wise, we're going to crush Lightning Network and buy Bitcoin.
There you go. All right, Rashab, what should people need to know for your last words here before we let you guys go?
Just keep trading runes. If you want to make some money doing arbitrage between chains and exchanges, reach out to us. We'll set you up with an API key and like the SDK to make that really easy for you. And yeah, like if you're interested, hit us up. And if you need a loan against your Bitcoin and you want to be one of the first users, let us know too.
Yeah, man. I love that you said, if you want to take a loan on your Bitcoin, go over to Arbitrum, deposit in Hyperliquid, because that's the most degen thing you can do. I love it, man. Absolutely love it. Appreciate you guys, man.
Appreciate you.
All right. We will talk to you guys next week.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good week.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Absolutely awesome as always, man. It's really awesome to talk to those guys every week, because we're really getting these guys are probably the number one builders in my opinion, right, with what they're building here. And aggregation is something that is really is core. It's really one of the core things that's happening, because they're going to find you the best prices. They're going to find you the best loans. And I think that's really important for a lot of people. So you don't have to check 9 different sites, right? Like, it sucks to have to go check Unisat, check RuneDex, check Magic Eden, check, everywhere, just to make sure that you're not overpaying when you could have got it cheaper, because that sucks too.
Yep. I agree, man. One-stop shop. That's the whole thing, is to try to make the user experience better, which, to be quite frank, Bitcoin hasn't done well up until, like I said, ordinals came in, and then it took some time. And you got teams like RuneDex, you got teams like Sats Terminal, you got teams like everybody that's trying to really move the space forward, and focusing on UI is the most important thing. But yeah, man, that's going to wrap up the show. We got 482 people that are paying attention to us, and we appreciate all of you guys. That's not including Abstract and some of these other channels. We got like 6 channels that we stream out to, and we appreciate each audience of you guys too, whether you're from the Rumble side, the Abstract side, Kick, Twitch, Spotify, of course, YouTube, and X. But without you guys, we could not do this. But also, without our partners, we couldn't do it. And so we're very, very grateful for both you guys and our partners. So if you could check out our partners, we greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the Bitcoin ecosystem. Make sure you're swapping for your runes or alkanes on satsterminal.com. You're going to earn Amber points. Amber points are an XP point system that's going to go towards a give back to early adopters. Put 2 and 2 together, guys. So you can kind of tell what that's going to go towards. But yeah, if you connect your wallet for the very first time, you get 1,000 Amber points. So super excited about that. Excited about their team, the hedge product, the borrowing and lending aggregation. All of that's coming very soon, guys. Head over to satsterminal.com to learn more today. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability layer of the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to jump your ordinals or your Bitcoin NFTs, you can do so with Emblem Vaults. They vault your ordinals, take them over to Ethereum, Taproot Wizards. You can take a loan out against it on the Gandhi application. I'm sure they're going to open up to other collections as well. You can vault your rare Pepes from Counterparty. You can do the same thing. Also, they're going to open this up to base Abstract, maybe Merlin Chain. Also, Solana, I know, is a focus on them for them to do this. So really exciting stuff. This team's been doing this since 2015-16. right? They've been innovating since that time period, and they have a lot of experience in the Bitcoin ecosystem, but they have experience in other ecosystems like Solana. They have the hottest AI product in Solana. It is called Agent AI Hustle. Hustle is going to be able to guide you through the trenches of Solana. If you have a question like, hey, Hustle, what do you think about, the top 2 or 3 safe 2 to 5x plays in the Solana ecosystem? He'll bring you back a couple options and give you reasons why he thinks that. And so you can also set conditional trades with Hustle. I mean, he can do DeFi functionality for you. He can set limit orders for you. You can say, hey, pick up Fartcoin when it drops 20% and sell it whenever I'm at 100% in profit. And you can go to the gym, go to the grocery store, whatever you need to do. Also, they have a TGE for their Bitcoin rune for their parent company, which is Emblem Vault, and it's Emblem Founder Vaults. You can actually go to OpenSea right now and search Emblem Founder Vault keys. You can purchase one of these NFTs, and then once Bitcoin gets to block 915,000, that vault will unlock, and you will have a Bitcoin wallet in there with Bitcoin runes. So it's really exciting, unique way of doing a TGE for sure, but definitely. I love the approach that they have. Head over to emblem.vision to learn more today. And then Artura.finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. They power our Bitcoin price action. But if you're looking to trade for Bitcoin fungible tokens in a synthetic form in the near future, you can do so at Artura.finance. They're going to add support for Dog Go to the Moon and whatever other runes and BRC20s, maybe Alkanes as well, that have the demand for them to add it. Also, they're adding derivatives for TradFi assets like MicroStrategy, what else? Coinbase, stuff like that. And of course, you have your regular tokens that you can trade: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tau, stuff like that. Right now, you can trade Ethereum and Bitcoin, which is live on Botanics. And if you do so, you're going to earn XP over there, and that's going to also go back to the early adopters for a give back. They also track the Botanics points as well, so you can kind of double dip over there. Head over to Artura.finance today to learn more. And then Fluid Tokens is the UTXO wizard devs of the Bitcoin ecosystem, but they started off on Cardano. They're still building there, actually. If you're a part of the Cardano community and you want to earn some Babel fees, you can add liquidity to their Aquarium platform. Their Aquarium platform is offers 2 things. One, you can use other tokens that are pre-approved, like the FLDT token, as gas instead of ADA on the Cardano blockchain. And then if you add the liquidity for the trading, you get part of the trading fees, which are called Babel fees. Also, you can actually set up reoccurring ADA payments to your team. If you need to pay your devs every month at the same time, you can set it up at fluidtokens.com on the Cardano side. On the Bitcoin side, they added staking vaults. They're the first to add staking vaults to Bitcoin Layer 1. You can stake Dog Go to the Moon to earn Alkanes, which is really cool. They're mixing the meta protocols in the staking on Bitcoin Layer 1. So really, really love that approach. You can earn Diesel if you stake Dog, and you can earn Dog if you stake Diesel. Also, they have a couple other Alkanes for Alkanes.
They're all closed.
Oh, are those closed now?
Everything's closed, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Well, everything's closed right now, but, they will announce when they open that up. That was a Debbie Downer for sure, but I'm glad
I was trying to, I don't know. I was trying to hint to you. I was like,
gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, but they do open these staking vaults, pretty frequently. I would say every month or so. So just make sure you're following their X to see when the next opportunity is. Head over to fluidtokens.com to learn more today. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet that is building for the best UI and UX for all their end users. They are supporting Bitcoin runes and the Bitcoin ecosystem right now, as well as Cardano, and Sui is going to be coming soon. On the Bitcoin side, you can trade for any rune because they partnered with Sats Terminal to make that possible. And then on the Cardano side, you can trade for pretty much any Cardano token. They partnered with Dex Hunter over there. Right now, there is an alpha section on their application. If you go to the bottom, it's a YouTube section where you're going to find our channel and other YouTubers like Cryptos R Us and others as well. Truly is a one-stop shop application there. Also, if you have an iPhone, go to the Apple App Store to download the application. If you have an Android, go to the Google Play Store. Download the application. Let us know your feedback. We will pass it to the team. Head over to Tokyo.io. And we will pick up the BTC Zone segment every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern next Tuesday. So we'll keep you guys updated with that. And then Merlin Chain is uniting the strength of Bitcoin through the power of AI. They also have an AI product that is awesome. It's called the Wizard 0.03. Right now, you can use the wizard to guide you through Merlin Chain's ecosystem. You can also use the wizard for simple DeFi actions like swapping and staking. And then version 4 is right around the corner. So it should come out probably next week around that time frame. And then you're going to be able to do cross-chain swaps and asking, getting information from like Solana, BNB. It's going to be super awesome. So make sure you're using the wizard. Test it out. It's really, really easy. Also, if you want to help secure the chain, you can participate in their staking, proof of stake. You can stake Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin. There is an average of 16% APR on that, minimum of 8, maximum of 21. It is locked up until September 30th, so just know that. And then there's 2 options for the Merlin Chain token. You can do the flexible day-to-day, which you earn 15% APR. You can claim your daily rewards, and you can actually compound interest if you want to do a strategy like that. Same thing with the 6-month option, and that's called bonded. So 6 months locked up, but you get 45% APR. You can claim your daily rewards as well in this one and do a compound interest. Head over to merlinchain.io today to learn more. And lastly, Ordinal Hive is an aggregator Ordinal marketplace. If you're looking for the cheapest Ordinals around, you got to go to Ordinal Hive. They're going to be able to pull the cheapest Ordinals for you, but also they have amazing trader tools too. You can grab something that was accidentally fat fingered and mispriced. If it maybe super cheap, you can try to grab it real quick. Also, they give you guys instant liquidity, so you don't have to wait when you sell an ordinal there for 10, 50 minutes. We saw how many blocks that were loaded up today, so you get your liquidity instantly. We thank you guys so much for checking out our partners there.
Yep. Great job, man. As always. So there is one thing too. So I just noticed on Fluid Tokens, there is a new one that just opened up today. It's called Love Bomb. You can actually earn Love Bomb by staking Love Bomb. So if you're interested in Love Bomb, it's an Altcoin. Yeah, you can earn it over there on Float. So definitely check it out if you guys have time. But yeah, and you guys have a few more minutes, wouldn't mind checking out onchainrevolution.io. We have some of the best articles, guys. Articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entered your space, please send them our website. Really feel like I can help them get started and code up to where we are today. And remember, a new article just dropped called Lobo, the Wolf Pup Bitcoin Rune launches on Kraken, guys. These articles are so important because if you just go back, you can kind of see the main topic of that week and really get caught up, guys. This is not something that we just do for fun. This is something that really could help you guys and really help new people out there. So definitely check that out. And if you guys need a VPN, we have the #1 VPN. That's Nord. I use it each and every day. Highly recommend it. I was using Nord this morning on Kraken, and I had to switch. I switched my IP like 4 different times to kind of see if the dog thing was working, and it was not. And I was all over the world this morning, but it's easy to do with the VPN. You can kind of change it from Italy to El Salvador to the US to Canada. You can put it anywhere you want. But what that does is that hides your IP address. So when you go to these websites do not get your IP, which could lead them to your home address. You don't want that. As Bitcoiners, we do not want anyone to know where we live and where our family's at. It's stupid to do. Use the VPN, $3 a month. Lock it in for 2 years. Set it, forget it, gone, right? So if you go to the Nord site, they're going to make you pay $10 a month. But if you use our site, you can basically get it for $3. Lock it in for 2 years, because if you do lock it in for a month, next month you're going to come back here. They're going to force you to pay the 10 because you can't use that discount code again. But if you do, the longer you do it, the better, because you're locked in at that price. So lock in at that price today, and I highly recommend NordVPN. If you guys need merch for any event coming up, having merch at events is really cool, but you lounging around at home could be absolutely awesome as well. So just Fluid Token just said we got more time for staking altcoins. Yeah, hopefully that changes though, KDN, because right now the vaults say they are closed. But yeah, so just so you know, so shout out to you guys, man, and check out onchainrevolution.io. And remember, guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys, and until tomorrow,
peace.
OnChain revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough. No. You're not bullish enough. No. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear traps. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction.